Dye's design and mixture of holes assures players of a fun-filled day with friends. Bartley Kavanagh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. After golf, relax on the outdoor veranda with a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit BartleyKavanagh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
KH2KAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and it is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. Warriors will try and tie up the series at 1 game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. Oakland A's will try and avoid the sweep today against the Seattle Mariners. Drew Rusniski will get the start. The A's with first pitch scheduled for 12:37. Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can listen to the entire video, the entire audio clip at SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Now let's get to Chris and Company with Kyle Madsen.
I don't want to kick off Thursday on a sour note. But Daryl Morey can stick it, bro.
Dude, you saw that tweet last night?
I did. Daryl Morey.
I agree.
Daryl Morey, if you're a normal person and you don't hang out on the internet all day.
What's that like?
I'm so jealous of every single person who has never waded into the Twitter waters. No, Daryl Morey tweeted yesterday a congratulations to Monty McNair for winning Executive of the Year.
Yeah.
It was a picture, a GIF of the beam being lit. It said, like, the beam and all that. Really cool, right?
Awesome. Obviously, used to work under Daryl Morey when he was in Houston.
Right.
That's the connection between the two.
Right. And then ends his tweet with, quote, "Your prize is irrationally high expectations in the future."
Bro.
Like, what? Is Daryl Morey insinuating that he was let go from Houston because the expectations were too high?
Right. That's what it sounds like to me. And I agree. Daryl can go shove it. Like, that's not how this thing works. Like, you don't just get expectations out of.
Look, man.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
There's so much to unpack with this. Because isn't high expectations like the goal of a GM?
Also that, yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing?
Yeah, you should want to try and shoot for a championship. That is probably what every GM is brought in to do, yeah.
And is he insinuating that Kings fans are in some way out of line or have been in some way out of line? Or is he just saying basketball? I'm assuming he means basketball fans in general.
For sure.
Or sports fans in general. But, like, what?
Yeah. Daryl is incredibly frustrating for many reasons, but like he brought those ridiculous. By the way, like there are going to be a change in expectations going into next year. We're not saying like there should be. There will. We are acknowledging there will be new expectations for next year, higher expectations for next year. But like Daryl's essentially pointing at like, oh yeah, hope you had fun this year because after this, it's just you getting crapped on for everything you do. And that's like, Daryl, like you got to that point because you literally traded every asset that you had with Houston in order to get James Harden, in order to get Chris Paul, in order to get Clint Capella. And so, of course, the expectations at that point, kind of like what we were talking about yesterday with the 49ers, when you get rid of a ton of assets that help build your team in the future,
right?
The expectations then instantly become championship or bust because we clearly don't care about the future.
When you push all your chips in to win a title and then don't win a title.
Yeah. People are going to be upset at that.
Right.
That's also not unrealistic expectations.
And it was also so. Let's talk about
I'm going to breathe
Daryl
for a
Morey's.
little.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Let's talk about Daryl Morey's tenure with the Rockets.
Let's talk about it, please.
Because this is very separate from what
it's not even close to the Kings situation.
No, the Rockets in 2012-13 lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They lost in the first round the next year. Then they went to the conference finals. They faced the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
They lose that.
Yeah.
That was when that was with Dwight Howard. Okay. The following year,
I forgot about the Dwight Howard era of Houston Rockets basketball as well.
The following year, in 15-16, they lose in the first round. They fire Kevin McHale after 11 games. They hire JB Bickerstaff. JB Bickerstaff takes them to the playoffs. They lose in the first round.
Yeah.
The following year, they lose in the conference semis in the second round under Mike D'Antoni.
Yep.
Then they go to the conference finals. They lose in 17-18. That's where they took the Warriors to 7. They took the Kevin Durant Warriors to 7 games.
Missed 27 straight threes, or else they probably would have.
So that's the issue, is Daryl Morey specifically, and this is where I think there's a departure with him and Monty McNair.
Mm-hmm.
Daryl Morey specifically in 17-18, like they made it very clear that run, that stretch, they were trying to build a team to beat the Warriors.
Yes. And was turned to every microphone he could find to say, I have built the perfect roster that is meant to beat this Golden State Warriors team.
And to that point, he kind of did.
He did. No, he absolutely did. He was, again, 27 missed threes in a row away from beating them.
So that's where the flaw comes in.
Right.
And that's where I don't think it's necessarily, quote, irrationally high expectations.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, your stuff's not working.
Right.
This isn't working. When you're leaning on Chris Paul and every year Chris Paul is getting hurt in the postseason, like that's not a, you know what? Good process, bad result.
Right.
Like, no, your process is now bad.
Right.
When you've built a team that scores 25 points in game 6, they go up 3-2 on the Warriors.
Right.
In game 6, in the second half, one half of basketball, 24 minutes, they scored 25 points after being up like 17.
Right.
They lose that game 6 at then Oracle.
Right.
Game 7 was that stretch. They went 7 for 44 from 3 in that game.
Oof.
7 for 44, including an 0 for 27 stretch.
Tough.
And you're leaning on James Harden all year. And look at that. He runs out of gas. Late in the playoffs. Chris Paul's getting hurt late in the playoffs. Like you built a faulty system.
Right.
Your system had a bug and you weren't willing to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they lose the conference finals that year. And then they go conference semis. D'Antoni's out.
This new era.
Morey's out. Right. And now the Rockets are in full rebuild.
Dog water. Yeah.
And now he's in
Philly, right.
Where Philly fan is going to have high expectations regardless.
Absolutely, right.
But you have Joel Embiid.
Mm-hmm.
You've traded for James Harden.
Mm-hmm.
They have Tobias Harris. They have Tyrese Maxey.
Doc Rivers.
They bring in Doc Rivers. They sign PJ Tucker, his guy from Houston.
Yep.
And they've now built this team that's like, hey, this should be a title contender.
Yeah.
And that's the goal.
Right.
Like Daryl Morey reached the point of, hey, people believe that your team should be winning titles. Mm-hmm. That's a good space to be. You should be demanding that from your fan base.
Right. It's high expectations, wishing for bigger. Again, this is what I've been saying for years. Is like, and I know it's because of the drought, but Kings fans forever were like, just make the playoffs. Just make the playoffs. That's the goal. Understood after a 16-year playoff drought. But like, you should have higher expectations than that. Like, you absolutely should. And so I don't think that Monty is going to all of a sudden step into, okay, now, the conversation is not now, okay, the Kings have to be championship or bust, or what are the Kings going to do this offseason to make sure that they're in the title race for next, like those conversations aren't happening because Monty's process is not the same as Daryl's process. Daryl's process has been all in, all in. And Monty's has been a little bit more of like slowly building this thing up and taking, we heard him say step 1 was complete. Phase 1 is complete. Now it's time to phase 2. Most phases don't end after it sounds like he has a multi-layered plan here to get things going. Like, this is not, again, like Daryl's process is not Monty's process. And so for him to say, here come unrealistic or whatever, irrationally high expectations, that's just you, bro. Like, that's stop trying to. And I know he's joking. Also, like, it was part of some
but
friendly
that's also
banter.
Like
but it's also
a lot of truth is said in jest.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I just didn't like it. I
didn't either. Man. I think Daryl Morey just bothers me.
Yeah.
They did that whole. Remember when he was in Houston and they did that whole like report about the NBA officiating and how many points they'd taken from the Rockets?
No, but that sounds like
Houston. They did a full. Yeah. They basically did their own internal
analytics department,
like a last 2 minute, but for all of the times they faced the Warriors.
Oh my god, that doesn't sound salty at all.
Right, and I get it. Like the Warriors might get a favorable was like fine,
sure,
but that's crazy.
Yeah, that's doing way too much.
And that's not helping.
No.
The NBA is not looking at that and going, "Wow, Daryl."
Well,
right.
You know what, Daryl? We're gonna now we're actually gonna call this game in your favor because that's so crazy that y'all and like
also,
exactly that's just how it goes.
You had James Harden.
Yeah, James Harden, bro. Like
he's drawing
game changes in the playoffs too, right? That's probably more what he was upset about is that James went from 14 to 5 free throws, and it's like that's called playoffs,
dude. That's the problem with that foul hunting stuff. You watch Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is shooting 1 million free throws a game. It was like a thing.
Yeah.
Gets into the playoffs and he's just flopping around, like throwing the ball at the rim. Yeah. It's like, dude, you got to just go up strong.
My girlfriend asked me the other day, like, is there like a tier? Like, who's like the first team of like all flop? And I was like, there's not really, like, they all do it at this point. Like, it's not everybody, but like, it's just become so ingratiated into the game of basketball for whatever reason that it's almost like everyone does it to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And it
embellishes contact.
Exactly. Embellishes contact. And it's kind of the only way you can get a foul call that's definitely a foul call, or else, that Steph Curry clip from Game 7 where he's dribbling through all the Kings guys and it's like count the fouls. That's what happens when you don't flop, honestly, is you just get hacked the entire time. So it's kind of, it's kind of a product of the fact that they don't get favorable whistles unless you flop. But
the whole flop team, we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can
for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely some that are better than others. Chris Paul comes to mind, like Trae Young, Harden, but Luka. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of candidates. But the problem is there's so many.
There's something different than flopping that really bothers me. I'll tell you what it is on the other side.
Okay.
Plus, we'll set expectations for the Kings. We don't want to make anything irrational.
Sorry.
So we're gonna set some expectations for the Kings. What do you think this team should be doing? Check us out on YouTube, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. If you're there, smash that like button. It's a thumbs up right below the video. We got to 106 yesterday. I want to get to 110. I would really like to get to 110. Yes. Smash that like button if you're there. Smash subscribe. We appreciate you guys so much. In 90 seconds, expectations for the Kings next year. Let's go.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Well, Kelly get weirded out by how into games you get because my girlfriend she's getting used to it. When I'm like, oh, that's not a foul.
Yeah,
that's okay. I guess that's not a foul.
Yeah,
all right.
I got to work on things. My language is pretty bad when watching games. Gotta work on that.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
To make room for new merchandise, RC Willey is having a spring clearance event. Thursday through Saturday, enjoy clearance savings on scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, display models, and discontinued items. Shop the large clearance centers inside all RC Willey locations for savings up to 40% on appliances and save up to 70% on sofas, sectionals, dining, and bedroom sets. Shop early because clearance deals will go quickly. Bring your trucks and trailers, deliveries not available. Don't miss the spring clearance event inside RC Willey.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Kyle Madsen, Chris Watkins hanging out with you till 2 o'clock. Trying to make sure that we're not setting the expectations too high for Monty McNair.
I hate that. Better be prepared for it, though, Monty.
That's your prize.
It's coming, yeah. Congratulations on your award. Shove it, Daryl.
The
Daryl. Come on, get out of here.
The traditionally very hard-nosed, demanding fan base of the Sacramento Kings.
You know how they are.
Yeah,
always demanding,
just hating
victories.
everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Read the room, Daryl.
Like, I don't know. Hey, speaking of Sacramento sports, Sac Republic, they're still playing.
Mm-hmm.
King season's over. We're looking ahead to the offseason, but Sac Republic, they're playing right now. And if you're looking for more sports action, Republic FC has you covered as they host another David versus Goliath showdown at Heart Health Park on May 9th at 7:30 p.m. Sac Republic FC will take on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids. That's a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 in the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on the line. This is big time, guys. It's $5 beer night as well.
Ooh.
So even if you're like, I want to dip my toe into the soccer waters. I've not been to a game. If you're not a soccer fan, just go to a game live and you'll change your mind at least a little bit.
Yeah.
On top of that, even if you don't, it's $5 beer night.
$5 beers.
It's the best time to go. And they need Sacramento to pack the house. Secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at sacrepublicfc.com/tickets. See you all there.
Yeah. Sac
Can't
Republic
wait.
made a nice little run last year. They made it all the way to the US Open Cup final. Lost, but
that was fun.
It was a great run. It was a phenomenal run. I think that they're for a lot of you might know, they're like only the second USL team to ever make it that far.
I believe. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Do you know the other one offhand?
I can't remember who it was.
I think it was a while ago. I think it's
like
a
a long time ago.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was recent.
Before I even knew what soccer was.
That was a long time ago.
All right. So we've been talking about the Daryl Morey tweet from yesterday, congratulating Monty McNair on winning Executive of the Year. He said, "Your prize is irrationally high expectations in the future." Let's talk about it. What would I think irrationally high expectations for the Kings this year in the 2023-2024
for the season we just saw? Or are you talking for the next season?
For the next season.
Gotcha.
I think they were like going into this year. I believe the expectation was a very reasonable make the play in.
Play in. Yep.
Can you make the play in tournament? Yep. And if you win a game there or win 2 games there and you're in the playoffs, great. Awesome. Love to see it. So I think that was a fair expectation.
Mm-hmm.
They wind up going to the playoffs. They were the number 3 seed. They're one of the best teams in the West all year. I think now the fact that they're ahead of schedule to me does not ramp up the timeline in some way.
I don't think so either. I feel like the vibe, the temperature that I've gotten is people understand that the season was incredible and like you're saying, ahead of schedule, just better than anyone could have anticipated. I don't feel like there's necessarily people who are now like, okay, conference finals are bust.
Yeah.
We have to go get another star this offseason.
Right.
I haven't felt that.
No, not at least not right now. You might get there
next season, maybe after next season.
When free agency starts, that might become more of an outward.
Yeah, depending on who's available, right.
Right. But I'm with you. I don't think the irrational expectations, we can talk about what that means, but for me, it's just like, just show improvement, it doesn't even, I don't want to say improvement. Like, I'm not trying to make excuses. If they stink next year, it's a problem.
Right.
I think the expectation now is playoffs. Like, this is a playoff team. This is a playoff core. We've seen it. I think
it has to be 45 wins minimum. And they got 48 this year. If they were to get less than 45, I think people would then be like you're saying.
If you're fighting for a play-in spot, it's like, come on.
Right.
You got to. But I think just a dedication to what direction they're building.
Right.
It's really clear. Monty McNair yesterday talked about in his end of season presser, he talked about how Domas is part of this team moving forward. It's part of what we're building. Great. Fine.
Love to hear that.
Him and De'Aaron. Those are your 2 guys. Keegan Murray, you can throw him in there. That's what they're building. It's Fox and Sabonis, and then it's going to be lengthy wings that can shoot. And you see how that can work. And we saw it work this year. And now it's like, just continue building.
Building.
You can't do something completely irrational, blow everything up, because the goal is no longer like we saw them take kind of these bigger type of swings or these moves
Right.
that were not these huge swings, but just make the playoffs.
Mhm.
But now to me, it's okay, extending this window now.
Yeah.
And making sure that, okay, this window's wide open. Just making sure that, hey, you're not doing anything to slam it shut.
Mhm.
That's for now.
Yep.
And if they complete that, if they get to step 2, where they, win 50 games and they win a couple playoff series and they're competitive in the conference finals, but they lose, but okay, fine. Now the bar moves again.
Exactly.
But as long as they're not, honestly, maybe I'm soft, and that's, I'll buy that criticism of me, to be totally frank. But maybe I'm just softer. But for me, as long as they don't go backwards, I'm happy with whatever happens in 23-24.
Yep, I'm right there with you. I think it's just about not taking it right there. It's just not about taking a step back.
Yeah.
I think this was a really weird season. I don't expect the Kings to be, if they're a 3 seed next year, that's I'm like,
Yeah.
That's great. I don't think 48 wins will get you to a 3 seed next year, but and that's a kind of a different conversation too. But I think if they can continue to just not, it sounds stupid, but not be disappointing, right? If you can continue to, like you're saying, build upon what you're doing. I don't know how different the lineup could look. A lot different than this year. They could replace Harrison Barnes with the Sam Amick was on this morning talking about OG Anunoby. It could be him specifically. It could be somebody of that tier of player. Yeah, we'll definitely get to that. But I just want to see this team continually build in the right direction, right? Which again, kind of obvious to say, but continue to be on the up and not feel like, okay, maybe De'Aaron isn't the guy that we thought he was. Maybe Sabonis is more that guy that we saw in the playoffs, which I don't suspect to see. But I just want to see this team continually, like you're saying, stretch out the window. Can they make this playoff run go for 5 or 6 years with a core that you can, injuries are going to happen for sure, but can you just feel positive, continue to feel positive about the direction you're moving? It's not even really about, the numbers or, where you fit. To me, it's more of a feel thing.
For the path to being a title contender is not linear. Right. There are some teams that go to the playoffs once and then don't make it. There are some teams that do the Warriors path where they lost in the second round.
Right.
In 13, they lose in the second round or the first round. In 14, they went to 7 with the Clippers. But then next year, the switch flipped.
Right.
And they were off and running. But there's other teams that just kind of fall backwards into a free agent or sign a free agent, and they become contenders overnight in a way that they weren't before. There's not one. It's not guaranteed. Like, okay, the Kings went to the first round, now they need to go to the second round, or else it's a failure. That's not.
It's matchup dependent.
Yeah, big time.
Like the Kings ran into a brick wall this series playing the Warriors. If they would have played the Timberwolves,
the Clippers,
and then played the Warriors, the Clippers, and then the Warriors, like, do we feel? I don't know. Those are the kind of things that are going to happen. Like, you can't necessarily look at, first round exit after a second round exit last year. That's getting worse. And it's like, well, maybe if your team was in a, maybe if you felt this year's team was better, but just again ran into a more difficult opponent, like sometimes that's just how it shakes out. It doesn't necessarily mean this season was worse than last.
You just have to give it. You just have to give it time, right?
Right.
And I don't know
they're not going to win a championship in the next 2-3 years. Maybe, they might. Like this season, next season, and then championship the season after.
But it's not like right now for the Warriors, for example.
Track for that.
For Golden State, for example, the expectation is, hey, you got to win a title.
Right.
If they don't win a title, it's like
it's a failure.
Right. That's not a good year. Yeah. The Kings aren't there yet. And maybe in 5-6 years, maybe De'Aaron's a perennial all-star, all-NBA guy, and Domas is an all-NBA guy perennially, and Keegan's developed into an all-star caliber player, and they've signed a big free agent. They signed Jaylen Brown, and it's like, dude, this is this team has to win a title.
Right.
But you'll know that, and you'll feel that out.
Yes.
And I don't think
they're near that step right now.
No, they're not. And that's fine. This idea that having a fan base having irrationally high expectations is in some way a bad thing. Like, no, that's a product of your team being really good.
Exactly.
That's it. You should want to reach a point where the expectation is, you know what? If this team doesn't win a title, it feels like they came up short. That's the feeling. That's where you want to get. Like every team wants to be a contender.
That's why people ask the Bucks, was this season a failure?
Right.
They're at that point. Suns, you could argue that they're at that point. When you go all in for Kevin Durant, you should probably be somewhere near there. Nuggets, kind of at that point right now.
Oh yeah, the Nuggets are a really good one.
Yeah,
they've reached that point where in the next couple of years, if they don't do something,
they don't win a title, something's got to go. Either Mike or I doubt they move on from Jokic, but something's got to go.
Is it fair to eventually have a championship or bust mentality? It's very hard to win a championship. Yeah. We'll talk about that on the other side, and we'll set some expectations for other teams in the area. We'll talk Kings, Niners, Giants, A's, Raiders. We'll set expectations for all those clubs. On the other side, that's Chris and Kyle. It's Chris and Company, Sactown Sports.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Carbine that's electrifying, yes, a great ride and go. You'll be smiling, help grow. Get your motor in, open road in, whip down, turn it into a highway. The Elk Grove Kia, peace of mind guarantee. Here's a 20-year or 200K warranty. No hassle, no worry, you bet you'll ask anybody who can turn your highway into a smile way.
Spring is here, and Elk Grove Kia has some incredible offers, like the all-new, all-electric EV6 for just $549 plus tax. What about the sporty Nero EV all-electric, just $397 plus tax? Worried about credit? Don't! Elk Grove Kia's team has over 100 years of combined finance experience. Bad credit? No problem. Elk Grove Kia says yes when others say no. Both payments are examples of 36-month leases, $3,999 customer cash with signing plus DMV registration and taxes, 10-day per year, 20 cents per mile, over subject to Kia finance approval, 720 plus FICO score to qualify. Offers expires 4/30/2023. One of these payments, CV6 GK8609, Nero EV GK8598.
Elk Grove Kia.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge,
what you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoop and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340, and Stoney's Rock and Rodeo.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotte with your Sactown Sports Headlines. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and it is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. Warriors will try and tie up the series at one game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. The Oakland A's will try and avoid the sweep today against the Seattle Mariners. Drew Rusnitsky will get the start for the A's with the first pitch scheduled for 12:37. Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can watch the entire interview on SactownSports.com. Later on today at 11 o'clock, we will have Kings insider Frankie Cartiselli joining the guys right here on Chris & Co. Now let's get back to the guys with Chris & Company with Kyle Madsen.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris & Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
I like Dua Lipa, man. What do you want?
I like Dua Lipa too. This song.
I'm glad I've reached the stage in life where I'm just like, I like this.
It's fine.
I was anti-Pink, the artist.
Mm-hmm.
I was anti her music for so long because when she
felt
got
like the
really
cool thing to
popular,
do,
right, I was
As
in
a
a
guy.
place in life where I'm like, oh, I don't listen to that,
bro.
And now I'm in the place where I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, that's a bop.
Yeah.
I'll listen.
I'm coming out, so you better get this party started. Come on.
Oh my god,
Come on.
I turned on one day. What's her song with Nate Royce from Fun? Just Give Me a Reason.
Oh yeah.
That song came
Right.
on whatever shuffle I was
Sad
listening
song.
to on YouTube Music.
Sounds
brutal,
sad, yeah.
brutal. So I just went, oh yeah, hey, Pink, I think makes some good music. So I just went to like the artist shuffle in
like
my
This
music
Is
app,
Pink. Yeah.
and oh my god, it just hit
Hits.
after hit
Hits.
after hit.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I'm in the space where I can be like, yeah, I
Yeah.
love Dua Lipa.
Yeah, it's definitely like a maturity thing, right? Where it's like, I think you kind of point, like as a young teenage boy,
Yeah.
you're like, no, I don't like
I'm only into
Pink. I don't
guy
like
stuff.
that girly soft music. And then it's like, kind of like
That's
like
such
that
a
Dua
lame way
Lipa
to
song.
think.
It's like, how do you
You
not be
miss
like,
out on so much cool stuff thinking that way.
yeah, it's lame. Don't be like that, guys. I know it's like easy for guys to just kind of revert to that, but like,
Sounds like you with Bruno Mars.
no. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. It takes a real man to say no to Bruno Mars. Okay.
I thought for sure. So it's May the 4th. So everybody, oh, May the 4th be with you.
Yeah.
And I like
Cuatro de Cinco.
Quattro de Cinco.
Quattro de Cinco. That's
Yeah.
right. So I'm, I like I'm a Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
I liked Star Wars before.
Mhm.
My wife's a huge Star Wars fan. It's really gotten me into it.
Yeah.
The whole May the 4th thing though, we just got to scale it back.
Yeah. Let's scale it back.
Just like we get it.
It's not that funny.
We get the joke.
Yeah.
It's Star Wars Day.
Yep.
But I was certain coming in that you were gonna be like, nah, I'm out on Star Wars.
No.
You're out on so many popular
I
things, but
know.
you're in on Star Wars.
I'm in on Star Wars. I saw it early enough in my life too, which I think is crucial. Like, did you see Star Wars when you were a kid?
I was Star Wars adjacent as a kid. My
Okay.
folks weren't really into it, but my buddy across the street was.
Gotcha.
So it's
Yeah.
in my life.
It was
in that way.
ingratiated young. Yeah. I feel like if you
And
get
Disneyland.
oh yeah,
Star
same.
Tours.
Yeah. All that. Right there with you. Yeah, it feels like Star Wars is one of those things that if you don't watch it when you're a kid and then you watch it when you're, past like 18, it's kind of like, oh, like this is what everyone's so excited. Like
Right.
they're okay movies, but like there's nothing really special about it. I love Star Wars. Like I actually really like I really don't have any problems with it. I think they're enjoyable movies. I'll watch all. I actually like the prequels too, not
Wow.
necessarily the first one, second one. I think second one's highly underrated. Episode 2, I should say.
Yeah. I think
It's a hot take. I feel like a lot of people are very out on all
No,
the
it's
third
fine.
one's great.
It's fine.
I would say the third one is universally accepted.
I was the kid growing up that liked Star Wars.
Uh-huh.
And
now
then
you hate it.
episode 1 was coming out. I'm just like, "Ugh,
Can't
let's
wait.
go. can't wait. Then I go and see it. I'm like, oh,
what did they do?
This is trash. And I just didn't end up seeing the next two.
Are you just out on Star Wars now in general?
No. Well, then what brought me back was Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Oh, that was great.
And I'm just like,
so good.
Wow, this is amazing. This is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, I am back 100%.
Oof.
And then like the next of the
prequels,
the trilogy came, and I'm like,
See,
Solo Solo was terrible.
See, I thought Solo was a really fun movie.
I like Solo. I did like Solo.
I'm not so into the lore that I get like hung up on the things that people
Right.
get hung up on with it. I just kind of enjoy being in that universe.
Yeah.
I'm not like like all the fan servicey stuff in episode 9. I was like,
Right.
yeah, that was for me. I'm the fan. I'm the fan that they service for.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, I had a couple of small issues with it. Like
the new movie.
Yeah. But I'm still in. I'm lame. I'm trying to make my way through all the cartoons right now.
Oh yeah, I hear the Clone Wars is
yeah.
great. I have a friend
Clone
who's
Wars is
watched
cool.
all of those.
Clone Wars gives a lot of
Incredible.
context that I was really
Right.
missing.
Right.
So yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hey, may the 4th be with you.
See, then I'm not a big fan of like the expanded universe
MCU
type of thing.
things,
Like the thing like, oh, well, if you watch episode 3 of season 2, they were giving a nod to it and it's just like, dude, I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. For me, it's like the bigger stuff. Like the Clone Wars gets into in the prequels, Anakin's like the chosen one, and they just say that his thetan levels or whatever are super high. Or what?
I think that's a different one.
Is that a different Star Wars?
Definitely a different.
No, what are they called? Midichlorians.
That's a different space conspiracy.
No, the midichlorians, right? It's midichlorian. But in Clone Wars, the show, they have like a full episode, like multi-episode run, diving into what makes Anakin the chosen one and how they like.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's really
interesting.
Good. Yeah, I don't like when you're smirking back there.
I know,
Chris.
Verlad.
Okay,
Looks like he's got
All
something
right.
to say. No.
I know. No, that's fine. Probably something he's gonna come in and say at the break.
Yeah, exactly.
And we'll be like, oh my god. Anyways.
No, I'm in on
Okay,
Star Wars.
okay.
No.
Because like once I just like, it's one of those things that I just don't care.
Okay, no, that's
Okay.
fine. That's fair.
Okay.
But here's like, you can be like, you don't care. Don't be the jerk today. Just saying like, oh, Star Wars is so stupid. Oh, you're so dumb. Oh, they don't even use this calendar in the rest of the world. Let people have their fun. Just be that person.
Yeah. Just right. Yeah. May the 4th. Rock on. Shout out. I
Even
don't.
though some of us like to celebrate Quattro de Cinco instead.
Yeah.
Right. You do. You're a big Quattro de Cinco.
What do you say to people who say May the 4th be like? Do you say and also with like I grew up in a church? Like do you just say and also with you? Like that's
no.
how I feel like or are you just supposed to say hey May the 4th be with you also?
This is my exact response. It's the same response I give when I'm wearing like a team hat.
Yeah.
Like I'm wearing a Nationals hat
Yeah.
today. And someone says, "Go Nats." That doesn't happen here. But if
Right.
they do, I go, yeah.
That's actually your answer for a lot of things.
Yeah, it is.
It is. Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I don't know what to say.
Yeah. No,
Especially like down in Arizona, I'd be wearing my A's hat and people were like, A's, yeah. Totally, bro.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Light the
I
beam,
have,
dude.
I have that same energy toward the A's as represented by my hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when someone says May the 4th be with you, I'm like, totally, man.
I will always say and also
Oh, yeah.
with you.
What's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
You know?
Conversation starter.
Rogue One.
Rogue One.
Rogue
One's
One's
a
okay.
great one.
Rogue One was brutal because like you know what
Everybody's-
happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know
No
how this
spoilers.
movie ends.
I love the fact that they made the movie specifically so that they could tie up a plot hole in the first movie ever.
Right.
And they're like, oh,
the Death Star
fine.
plans. Like we have to figure out how they figured this out.
Why did they just have a hole that you could just shoot in to blow up the entire thing?
And like George Lucas sitting there like, huh.
Didn't think
Should
about
make
that.
a movie for that. No, Rogue One's great. You know how it ends, but I still left that theater with just like despair, just the full blown, just
It's tough.
sadness.
Yeah.
Of that.
It's a
of
war
that
movie.
film.
It's a war movie that just so happens to be in the Star Wars universe. Yeah, it's tough.
It's strange, a war movie in the Star Wars.
Oh yeah, who would
universe.
have figured that one out?
No, is it when I think it was Rogue One, where there was some op-ed out that was like, "Oh, it's Star Wars now diving into the violence of war." Like, been
kind of the thing.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
It's not called Star Peace.
Including a lot of, hey, I might watch that. No. Including like all the politics and the
a lot of politics.
prequels.
Yeah.
You get all aspects of war.
Expectations.
Anyways.
For the Kings.
Yeah.
That's where we're going here. Is it fair to eventually have a championship or bust mentality with the team? Because we were talking about this yesterday with the Niners, and Rami came in and was like, dude, if you're contending every year, whether you win one or not, could come down to a bounce of the ball,
absolutely,
a bad call, an injury. So you'll take just being in the mix every year, and you don't want to do anything to mess with that. And I totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're sitting here, and let's bring this from the Kings' perspective.
Yeah.
If it's this core moving forward with some tweaks, Harrison Barnes walks, they trade for OG Anunoby, and somehow that trade doesn't involve Keegan Murray, and Keegan develops into this really good player. And you walk into every year going, man, you know what? The Kings have the best roster in the West. The Kings are the favorite in the West.
Mm-hmm.
And that starts in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2029, they've not won one.
Mm-hmm.
But they've had the best roster. At some point, you look and go, all right, what gives?
Mm-hmm.
Something's got to change here because slamming your head against this same wall hasn't worked.
Exactly. I think at some point it reaches that point with everybody, right? Like, I mean, we were just kind of talking about with Denver as well. It's kind of at that getting to that point right now where it's like you have a generational guy, you have a 2-time MVP, you have Mike Malone, who's a great coach. Any team would love to have Michael Malone as their coach. But yeah, like you said, if you continue to flail out in the playoffs, that's when those expectations come up and people are like, okay, well, this has been okay, but at some point we do have to break through. We have to, something's got to give, or else we might as well. And this is the sad part of sports is a lot of time it's like, well, if we can't win, we might as well just completely rebuild.
Sure.
And that's where it goes. I mean, maybe not with this Kings franchise who, you know, the word rebuild is probably doesn't want to be heard for another 15 years.
No doubt.
But you know, it's just the reality of things is something's got to change at some point. And expectations do change how you feel. If Domantas Sabonis continues to look not as good as he does in the regular season, in the postseason, people are going to raise questions. People used to raise questions about Chris Webber now, and stuff like that.
Right now, the process is good.
Yeah.
And the process, and I don't mean like the Sixers process. I mean, Monty McNair's process of team building is developing.
Right.
But at some point over a course of time, it's like, there's an issue, there's a flaw in the process, there's a bug in the system.
Right.
And that's when you start calling for change.
Right.
I don't think that's irrational. I think that's just the right thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the other teams on the other side.
Yeah, let's do it.
What expectations we're setting for them.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna have at 11 o'clock the Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartiselli. He's gonna join us. We're gonna set the table for the Kings offseason. What are we looking at? We talked OG Anunoby. Are they looking at Jaylen Brown next year? What's the free agency landscape for the Kings? We'll talk about that on the other side. Frankie Cartiselli joins us at 11. Chris Watkins, Kyle Madsen, Sactown Sports 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates. It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Bartley Kavanagh Golf Course is Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Players love Bartley Kavanagh's fun design and great mixture of holes. Near the banks of the Sacramento River, Bartley Kavanagh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. Bartley Kavanagh offers a great pro shop, help planning your tournament or wedding, and a relaxing outdoor veranda for a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit BartleyKavanagh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I want to talk to you about my friends at American Energy. We can all agree on one thing. Your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. Now, all you have to do, go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote today. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide those great pricing options they have, the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home without having somebody coming to your house. Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your specific needs are, call 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Looking for more sports action? Republic FC has you covered as the club hosts another David versus Goliath showdown at Hart Health Park. On May 9th at 7:30 p.m., SRFC will take on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 and the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on the line. It's $5 beer night. We need Sacramento to pack the house, so secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at SacRepublicFC.com/tickets.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Theme of the day is expectations. Playing off a Daryl Morey tweet, congratulating Monty McNair on his NBA Executive of the Year win, where he said, "Your prize is irrationally high expectations in the future."
Congrats, Monty.
Monty, you've done it.
You've done it. Now the job.
Way to be good at your job and have fans expect that you're going to continue being good.
What a job.
Can you imagine if you just did an awesome show one day? You did an awesome show. And somebody from a different station was like, "Hey, congrats on your awesome show.
Yeah.
Your prize is having to do more of that."
Like,
yeah, man. That's
the job.
goal.
That's the goal. Yep.
That's what it is.
Keep building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is Frankie Cartiselli, by the way, joins us at 11 o'clock, the King's Cowboy. Can't wait for that. If you're going to tune into that, check it out on YouTube, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Frankie's going to be in studio, and you got to see his face when we call him the King's Cowboy to his face. It's the best thing. I guess his friends made T-shirts.
They did, yeah.
I'm trying to acquire one. I'm trying to figure out how to acquire.
We could probably we can make that happen.
I would like that.
I think we could.
I would
know
pay
some
for
people.
one. I would pay for it. Let them know.
We can make that happen.
Have your people talk to my people. And I'm getting a Kings Cowboy shirt.
Yeah.
We
have to get Chris.
Oh, I wish I had one.
We have to get Chris.
You've got one of my
Chris is the
shirts,
OG
don't you?
of this.
I used to.
Okay.
I no longer have it.
Oh, the
RIP.
Hope
What happened to it?
I got rid of it.
You got rid of it?
Yeah, man.
What? That's just at some Goodwill somewhere?
Well, no, it's
Or is
probably
it
in
in
somebody's
garbage?
house now that it got copped.
Right,
But
facts.
yeah, I guess when I moved, I got rid of stuff. And here's okay.
Chris is
All right,
heartbroken.
moment of honesty. When I left the station, I just kind of imagined that, like, okay, my friendships with the people here are just going to kind of fade away. And a Verlade shirt's not going to play at this new station. So I just kind of got rid of it.
You know what? That would have been hilarious.
Just pull up like, yeah, this is my guy.
Yeah, this is my
Yeah.
guy.
Well, I mean, like, there's a couple people there that know me. That knew me.
Oh,
Yeah.
who?
We'll
Yeah,
talk
we
about
can
it
talk about it
separately.
later. No, so yeah, I just just got rid of it. And what's funny is, like, of all the people that I continued to talk to from like Chris was one of the only people I talked to with some frequency. I talked to Dave.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So
I would say
if you
that's-
still have one laying around, I'll take it. I'll wear it.
I would say
never got
I'm the
one.
person at the station that talks to everybody that leaves this building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No doubt.
Yeah,
No
definitely.
doubt. That's definitely the case.
And they kept their shirts.
Well, I'm just a bad guy. I'm a bad guy.
I'm a bad father.
Whoa. Come on, man. No, so let's get this back on track. It's totally off the rails. So we talked about next year for the Kings. The expectation is just for now, get back to the postseason, show a commitment to De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis and improving the roster.
Can't run back the same group, in my opinion.
So Rami and Cattles were talking about that yesterday. I was listening on the way home, and they were talking about the idea of running it back.
Mhm.
And I get wanting to, because this was a super fun team. This was a blast of a year, and they're the 3 seed. They made the playoffs. So, like, hey, just run it back and see if it. I don't think I just don't think it's sustainable.
No, there was clearly some very obvious improvement points that they could make. Not even necessarily making big splash moves, but even just between the margins. Like, if you could replace, TD was great and had great moments, but if you can get, I keep bringing this guy up, but just like Josh Okogie, Torrey Craig,
You got to pick a guy and
I know,
grab on.
yeah,
That's
exactly,
fine.
yeah.
That's fair.
You just gotta you can make your team a little less offensive, a little more defensive. There's some tweaks you can do. You can maybe give yourself another secondary ball handler behind De'Aaron and Malik. We saw that those two, maybe another shot creator. There's plenty of tweaks that this team can make that they don't need to run it back.
That's what's going to be so tough, though. Like, Terrence Davis is a great dude to root.
Yeah.
I'm all in on Terrence Davis. I think he's a great dude. Harrison Barnes, you've seen the growth of him with the team, and he had a couple of big moments for Sacramento, but it's like, dude, it's time to move on. And like you said, Terrence Davis, love him, but like, you can improve at that spot.
Right.
That's what's going to be hard here down the stretch is, like, if Kevin Huerter has another great year shooting the ball and then they go to the playoffs and he struggles again.
Right.
Now you got to look at, hey, if the expectation is going to be playoffs, you need postseason players. You need those 16.
Exactly. Yep.
So it's going to be, but again, this is projecting out over the next 2 or 3 or 4 years. I think that's very rational.
Yes.
It's saying make the postseason.
Yep.
Number of wins, you'd like to see 48 to 50.
I would like to see a 50 win season. They just
Right.
got 48.
But if they win 46 and go to the first round and get beyond the first round, nobody's sitting here going, well, they only won 46.
Exactly.
So that's where I land with that. For Golden State, it's a title. Like, that's the point that they've reached. Anything less than that, when you're in the latter stages of a core like the one they've had, you got to win titles.
Yep.
That's the expectation there.
If Draymond's not there next year, is the expectation still title?
Probably.
Okay.
That's got to be the expectation as long as Steph is around. Just maximizing whatever.
Absolutely.
Steph's
Yeah, you have
gonna-
to. You owe it to him.
Yeah.
Right.
That's where I land anyway.
Yeah. No, I think that's the right answer.
The 49ers we talked about a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
For me, their expectation now is a title.
It's Super Bowl, or I don't want to say or bust, but they have to at least be really close to Super Bowl contention.
And it's not that they, I'm with you. If they go to the NFC title game and they lose on a last second field goal to a really good Eagles team or whatever, then, like, okay.
Compete, right.
But at some point you have to look at your process.
Mm-hmm.
They're building a roster that is like
It's a ticking time bomb also, you know.
Well, yeah, from the money, from a money perspective and an age perspective for sure.
Yeah.
But they've gone about team building in a way that's like not going to try and find an elite quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to build out this really
Everything
good team
else,
and plug in a capable quarterback. And like, okay, I get it. I like the vision.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten them to a Super Bowl and 3 out of the last 4 NFC championship games.
Right.
But at some point, like
trying to win that sucker.
Right. It becomes a matter of, can you get over that hump with the team building process you have?
Right.
So for the Niners, it's not Super Bowl or blow it up, but it's like, that's the range they're in for me.
Yeah. 100%.
You have your team. There's not going to be a lot of like minor tweaks.
Right.
You can only have so many great players on your roster in a league with a hard cap. You got to give me something here that's more than just like, came up a game short. Like at some point that matters.
Yeah.
For the Raiders,
who even knows what Raiders expect? I mean,
make the playoffs.
You have fan expectations. I think playoffs would be a success for the Raiders.
Oh, big time.
I think, you know, with where they're sitting at now, when Jimmy Garoppolo is your starting quarterback, that's kind of that's raising your floor, but it's also kind of capping your ceiling.
Oh, big time.
And it's, you know, especially then you account for the fact that they're in the AFC West as well, which is one of the toughest, it's not the toughest division in football. If they can make the playoffs, to me, that's, I don't want to say a miracle, but like you have to be really excited about the season, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Maybe playoffs is too high, but just getting better, just looking better. Not being out of the race by week 12.
Do the Raiders have a direction? I don't know if they even know.
Josh McDaniels might be a disaster.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to be okay right now.
And the Giants right now are seeing what the price is of when your expectation is postseason and you struggle.
And you struggle.
That is a frustrated fan base.
Absolutely.
And the A's are also a team. So
they are a team.
Coming up next, the Kings Cowboy, Frankie Cartiselli in the building. Make sure to check that out on YouTube, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Gotta see his face when we call him the Kings Cowboy. It's my new favorite thing. That's coming up on the other side on Sactown Sports 1140.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feel super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
It's a myth to think you don't play golf well enough to get fitted for golf clubs. The professionals at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio would argue that playing the game with golf clubs properly fitted to your body and swing characteristics is the best way to improve your game and have more fun on the golf course. With a professional staff of fitters, all the major brands of equipment, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan, the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio is worth a look. See for yourself, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Schedule your fitting at 916-808-2531, 808-2531.
Planning to go solar? Go Solara. Solara Home Energy is your local go-to expert for premium solar, home battery, EV charging, and backup generators. With utility rates spiking and summer right around the corner, now is the time to start producing your own energy and safeguard your home against impending power outages. Already have solar? Add a home battery to improve your solar savings and provide peace of mind. For expert solar designs that achieve peak performance and look great on your home, choose Solara Home Energy. Visit us online at gosolara.com. GoSolara.com.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
And he drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. money. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Aldridge,
What you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoot Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 340 and Stoney's Rock and Rodeo.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and that is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. Warriors will try and tie up the series at 1 game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. The Oakland A's will try and avoid the sweep against the Seattle Mariners. Drew Rusniski will get the start for the A's with the first pitch scheduled for 12:37. Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can watch the entire interview on SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and Company with Kyle Madsen and our guest, the Kings Cowboy himself, Frankie Cartiselli.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Chris got a lot of company now.
No.
I'm Kyle Madsen. Frankie Cartiselli, the Kings Cowboy, in the building. It's official now. You got shirts, bro.
There have been shirts that have unfortunately been printed. Yeah, and I will not be getting you guys one.
They're not for sale?
They're not for sale. You know, it's
Not yet.
Do you know his homies that made this?
I don't know the homie that made it. But
Jasper.
Oh, no.
I
I do know. Yeah.
think you met Jasper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've met
Jasper.
Jasper.
Yeah, a couple friends of mine who had some shirts printed. I don't know why they would put their money into it, having my face in a cowboy hat on a shirt.
I
but
know
they
exactly why.
did.
It's hilarious.
With a basketball as a belt buckle.
I mean,
great. It's pretty great.
Perfect.
I don't understand what the long, flowy hair coming out
Yeah,
the back
that was
is about either.
I don't know. I thought that was questionable too, but it worked. It worked.
It was upsetting. I was at my house. We were enjoying our evening, had some friends over, having some dinner. And then they're like, "Is it time?" And I said, "What time for what?" And they said, "It's time." And then they took off their jackets, and then the shirts were, it's something else.
Oh, they already had them all on.
They already had them on.
Oh my
god.
Yeah. Frank was
really
set up.
strong.
It's a waste
really,
of money.
Really strong. So what do you? Hey, what do you do now?
I was just talking to Joe DeRose about that.
Do you still work here?
I do still work here.
Okay,
I do
cool.
still work here.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I kept my job. Actually, it's going to be a pretty big offseason for the Sacramento Kings. I know we're talking a lot about Monty McNair today, talking about all the end-of-year press conferences, which the Kings did have those. I know some teams did not. The Milwaukee Bucks did not have end-of-year pressers. I can't wonder why. But
it wasn't a failure.
But it's going to be – it's already May, which is surprising to me. Usually the season for the Kings ends, I think last year ended April 9th. So we had 2 full months of who are they going to take with the 4th pick?
Yeah.
The draft's, I think, 5-6 weeks. So
the lottery's in 2 weeks?
Yeah, no, it's going to be very quick, and I'm already kind of starting to slowly I went to the mock drafts on Tankathon and kind of saw who could be there for the Kings. Never heard of any of these players yet. Because
How about Chris Murray?
I've heard of him.
Keegan's brother, FYI.
Yeah, they look kind of alike. No, but it's funny how night and day it was last year, Chris. I mean, you and I were diving fully into draft coverage last year. Who are the Kings going to get? Top 7 picks, as we thought they were going to finish 7th. And this year, I didn't pay much attention to college basketball. I don't think many of us on the Kings, like Everyday Beat, were watching college basketball or seeing who was going to be there in the draft because we were too busy looking at the standings. So now is the time for me to kind of look into those weeds of who will be there at 24th. What kind of possibilities are there for as far as the Kings trading that pick, packaging it. That's kind of what I'm diving into, but also some baseball. So I'll be pretty busy over the next couple weeks, but also some vacation time will be coming up in the summer months. But
that's what I was hoping.
Yeah.
Like, do you just go back to the crib and like plug in and recharge?
Recharge yourself.
I'm about to
in your hyperbaric chamber.
I'm about to go. Is that a Star Wars reference?
No, I think
May 4th.
LeBron does that. If I'm not
LeBron
mistaken. He goes into the hyperbaric chamber.
I've often said that Frankie's the LeBron of Kings coverage, so that tracks.
Ooh,
we are
like
similar
that.
build.
Yeah,
don't know
for sure.
6'8", but no, I'll have some stuff coming up for sure. But also definitely some downtime. You know, it's a long season for everyone. And Chris, you know it. We need some downtime after being around the Matt Georges and the Brendan Nunez's of the world. We need to take a little downtime.
No idea. Yeah, you have absolutely no idea.
But we were talking before you came on. You're working on something for Sacramento.
Yes, yeah, and an end of year. I'm just gonna kind of pour out all those thoughts and inner dialogues you have with yourself over the year, and just kind of things that you. I guess in my case, myself, what I was expecting coming into the year and what happened, I'm going to kind of just break down. Just
I love that.
Kind of like a diary of the year, I guess. I'm going to make a little entry into my Sactown Sports Diary. So that'll come out next week.
We've been talking a little bit about the Daryl Morey tweet to Monty yesterday saying, welcome to now irrationally high expectations. What do you think? What do you feel like the expectations are going into next year? From the fan base necessarily, not necessarily what they're going to do.
I think they're very different. They're going to be greater. I think Monty said it yesterday at his press conference. That was my greatest takeaway, I think, was that he said, and I think it's even more significant because the past couple of years, they would go into all these press conferences saying, they never said the playoffs were the goal. They said the goal is to
find success
and build winning cultures.
Whatever that looks like.
Well, coming into this year, they finally said it. We want to make the playoffs. And Monty said that yesterday. Now that we've made the playoffs, it's time to make this franchise a perennial playoff team and then eventually a finals contender. And hearing those words was kind of like, okay, like this is different. Now we're looking at what moves this offseason can push this team over the edge. We know this team's good enough to, in my mind, they were good enough to make a second round series. They happened to run and do the buzzsaw of the Golden State Warriors, the greatest dynasty of the past 20 or so years in the NBA. Unlucky draw. You play against a Warriors team who was missing Steph Curry for 30-plus games. They were missing Andrew Wiggins for the last
2 months,
better half of the season, second half of the season. They were not a 6 seed. They should have been probably top 4. You played them in the first round. You went 7, hard fought. Kings were good enough, in my opinion, to go to the second round. How can you make that team better? What can you add? Is it upgrading the small forward position? Is it building, having a more pass-first backup point guard and having Davion Mitchell be more of a stopper, off ball? Those are the questions that I'm kind of gonna have to start asking all Kings fans too, because the expectations are gonna go up as far as the wins. You need more wins.
That's kind of what we've been talking about today. Is like they could win 46 next year, but like De'Aaron misses a couple of weeks, or Domas is out for a stretch of games, and it's like, okay, they were a little bit better, but the win total is down a bit because of X, Y, and Z. I feel like the expectation for now is just continue to make the playoffs over the next couple of years and just kind of commit to the direction that they've very clearly committed to. They're committing to Domas. It's something Monty McNair said yesterday. They're going to, obviously De'Aaron Fox is a big part of the future. That to me is just what they have to do moving forward, is not do anything insane that takes them off this track that has them on a decent trajectory.
Yeah. I think Monty had a good quote with Dave and Jason saying, he doesn't believe in win now moves because a win now move isn't win tomorrow. I think that was the quote that he said.
That's
Monty dropping some bars this morning. Yeah. So
I wrote that.
He definitely wrote that.
He definitely.
That was definitely a Steph. Draymond's got a history. So do we. Hated that.
Come on, he's so salty.
Yeah. This is what movies are made of.
Yeah, I was not a fan of it either.
No, but you have your foundation, you have your guys, and I just think that's coming into this year. That wasn't something the Kings for sure. We didn't know what the Kings were going to have in Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox as a duo, which is kind of a crazy thing to think about now. But they only played 15 games together last year, and that was kind of the main thing to watch this year was how will those two play together? Well, now we know they're all-stars, they're all NBA players, they're one of the better duos in the NBA, in my opinion. It's just that's not enough in today's game to win playoff series and or championships. You need to have, in my opinion, that third star.
Right.
And I think you see most teams that come through and win titles or make it deep in the playoffs, they have three players where they can just change any outcome of a game on their own, you feel like. And the Kings kind of struggled with that down the stretch in some of those games against Golden State, where especially where Fox had his finger injury, who was going to go and get them a bucket late in the game? And you can't rely on Malik Monk is a great player. Yeah. He's not someone you want to just put the game on his back. And you know, he's a great complimentary piece of that, in my opinion. But the Kings need the Chris Middletons or the, you know, I don't know who else is a good third option out there, but or second, third option, but they need those guys. I think OG Anunoby's been a name that people are really throwing out as a dream scenario this offseason, but you need a guy that can be that versatile wing, in my mind, to go get you a bucket when you need one.
I'm curious because I remember in last year's exit interview, Monty talked specifically about how they needed to address 3-point shooting and length, I think was the other thing. Did you get any vibe? Did he give any specifics like that at this year's exit interview? It didn't seem like he really was committal to anything.
Monty is, I call it Jeter-esque because I'm a Yankee fan, of course, but how Jeter would just have these press conferences or post-game interviews where he just wouldn't say anything.
Yeah.
But Monty's, I mean, he's the best right now. He's the top executive in the league right now. He's the executive of the year. And his classic response to some of those questions about Harrison Barnes, he said a lot of great, when he was asked about Harrison Barnes' future, says a lot of great things about HB, but then ends it with, we haven't had those discussions yet. Upgrades in the roster. He says all the great moves the Kings have made and all these great players they do have, but those moves will come in a later date. We're going to make those moves a later date. He keeps it to the vest.
Yeah.
And I guess as a Kings fan, you have to have faith no matter what. I mean, the Kings they make calculated moves. And
who can, wow. I can't believe you're saying that with connection to it's just
2023 has been a crazy year,
dude,
man.
it's nuts.
We're saying things that we have never, words in order that we have never, our brains have never put out before are happening right now. So he didn't come out and say, hey, we want to go find a defensive.
Right. That's right. Exactly.
But these conversations are going to happen.
They're going to happen in the offseason.
They're going to hug their families first.
That's what he's
exactly. Yeah. You got to see the kids.
What was so funny was, I don't want to mispronounce his name. Vegenkov? Vegenkov?
Yeah.
It was so funny because what we played here, he hadn't gotten asked yet. And so Christopher Ladd said, I was surprised nobody asked about him. And I said, well, let me tell you what he said. And I just kind of made up an answer.
Right.
And then after the break, Chris goes, actually, he did get asked about him. Here's what he said. And it was almost verbatim.
Yeah.
It was like, haven't had those conversations yet. We're watching him. We're really excited about him as a prospect, but that's something that we'll get to in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's like the main storyline for me, it's what's happening with Sasha. And I did hear from someone that knows things, multiple sources, that there is like an avenue. There's an avenue there for Sasha. There's mutual interest. And then Sean Cunningham did come on and say similar
this very show,
saying
we got an article written about this show.
He put a number on it too. He put a number on it.
I had never heard a number given to it, and he said 90%.
He put a 90%. But why wouldn't you? As someone,
I'm with you, man.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, when you see the kind of basketball the Kings played too, and I think even playing with someone like Sabonis, who's a pass first big, that's got to be a dream for someone who likes to make their living on the perimeter like Sasha.
And if you're locked into watching these playoff games and going, man, they could use a guy that can knock down a three.
Yes,
I could be a player that could actively help this team move toward a title. I mean, maybe he really loves playing.
He's
Europe,
EuroLeague MVP. He's not going to be
a dominant player there. He's doing fine for himself.
What are the other two? Was it Greek League MVPs? The other two Greek or EuroLeague, it was Luka and I think Nemanja Bjelica are the other two, I think, or the two most recent that come over.
Okay.
I think.
2 stars.
Two champ or not champion. One's a champion. One's a champion.
One champ.
One's a champion.
Yeah. I was going to say.
Yeah. No disrespect.
We didn't forget.
We support Nemanja here.
We did.
Hey, he played big minutes in the finals, dude.
Bro,
he actually
very underrated. Just
he was,
as a
man.
complete
Very
skill
good
set.
king.
Led the Kings
Very
in
good
blocks,
king.
I think, in 2 different years.
And hit one
Just
of the
random.
the most stunning buzzer beaters. We FaceTimed each other after that one too in Houston. That buzzer beater in Houston.
Yeah,
that
was the we effing deserved this, right?
That was like from Jordan Poole range. That was
right.
way
That
out.
was way
Dude,
out.
I swear he shot like 75% from that range.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. He was way
He
better
pulled up
from
from
out there.
30 plus. He was a bucket.
Yeah.
All right. Let's put a pin. You brought up OG Anunoby. I want to talk to you guys about this because I'm fascinated by the idea of OG on this team and what it would take to get him. So let's talk about that on the other side. It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Cattles and Rami.
This is that's right. He's got his shirt on, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Sacramento Kings shirt. Let's go. Oh, Boston boy. Let's go. Boston Nick got out the Kings shirt. Look at that. Let's go. You went out and spent money on that too, didn't you? No. Oh. But let's go.
Cattles and Rami. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Art Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Art Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized art support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Your desk. Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Should have had the mics on at the break.
No.
You guys are rolling.
Good Kings talk.
A lot of really good Kings talk.
Well,
Save the mediocre stuff for the air.
we haven't recorded a Return of the Roar in a while.
Not a while.
We got a lot of meat.
We have to catch up.
I need that from you guys.
Well, this guy's been on the air every day. That's what people,
I know,
people have asked too. It's like, we're
Have
working.
we really. Hey, shout out people, man.
We're gonna figure it out for next year, but this guy's been on the air every day. My guy
it has
Chris
been tough.
been grinding.
Yeah.
King's
No,
Talk
you
will come.
too, man. You too. Come on.
With the
Stop
word,
it. Stop it.
different
This is-
words, written
Come on.
words,
You
not
guys go ahead.
spoken.
Yeah,
This is
we're just
great.
gonna go ahead.
I love this.
Yeah.
We haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah,
We really
go
haven't.
ahead. Let
No,
it
we
rip,
really
man.
haven't. Yeah.
We're just catching up.
No,
Just
yeah.
catching
Well,
up.
what do you?
How'd you feel about the series?
Oh, nice.
What series?
Good question.
What series?
Yeah, I'm
The one on your shirt,
That's
man.
a joke.
It's like Panthers Bruins. No,
Yeah, dude.
it's crazy.
Well, Frank's got into hockey
Sorry,
recently.
Nick Cattle's listening.
Yeah, gosh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, the
Stop bringing
Bruins.
the Bruins.
Yeah,
That
I didn't
that
mean to
honestly
bring
made
up
me
old
that made
stuff.
me feel better. That made me feel better watching
the
that.
Kings.
You know, the Bruins. I'm like, imagine how these fans feel. Like,
God,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I know.
big
Could you
time,
imagine, dude, getting the most wins anyone has ever had
Ever.
in a regular season, and then not winning a championship,
Right,
dude?
and then-
oh
Dude,
yeah,
can you imagine,
yeah.
Like
Dude,
winning the
the
most games ever,
embarrassment.
and
And
then
blowing
being,
a 3-1
and then being
lead.
the first team to blow a 3-1 lead in the finals in the
God.
same year.
Dude,
Can you fathom that?
I can't.
that'd be crazy.
I
Poor
totally
Boston
can't fathom.
Has that ever happened to you?
That's never happened to me, especially not in 2016.
I don't know if Frank would be able to handle that.
No,
A three-
I mean,
yeah.
I was a kid and I had to watch the Yankees blow 3-0, and
yeah.
I wept. I cried at Round Table Pizza. I was inconsolable.
Kyle actually did the same thing.
Did
It
you?
was only a couple years ago.
I didn't cry. I went to a dark
Yeah.
space though, bro.
I can't imagine. Like, that's
I
one
was
of those
not
things
well.
where it's like you have to not watch any sports for like
Oh, yeah, I
what,
know.
2 weeks,
I
couple weeks.
texted my boss because I had a coworker at the time who was a Cavs fan. I was like, "Can I not come in tomorrow?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "You got to come in."
You gotta-
All right, man.
Take a sick day, man. That's before.
I did.
That's for when
Oh
your
my
team
gosh.
inevitably blows a massive lead
Yeah,
in the
that's it.
playoffs. That's what the sick days are
Hazard-
for.
hazard pay.
At least there wasn't video of you actually reacting to your heart being taken out of your chest watching your team play like there was for me here.
What happened?
What?
This was during the city City Tottenham Champions League game, and City had the winning goal, and then it got turned over because of VAR.
Oh, that's right.
Love that for you,
And
Chris.
I was told, hey, we thought it would be funny to like post it, but you were so heartbroken, like we couldn't even do that to you. So the video was deleted.
I clearly was not in charge of social media at that time and point because I would have posted that thing 12 times.
Engagement.
Ouch. That's
tough stuff.
I'm really sorry, guys.
We're really opening a lot of wounds.
All right, here we go.
Anyway.
All right, OG Anunoby.
Yep.
So I love the OG Anunoby idea for the Kings, right?
Mhm.
OG is a terrific player. He's only 25.
Great defender.
Excellent defender, like 1 through 5.
Yeah.
One of the best defenders, most versatile defenders in the league.
Can knock down some threes.
This year, shot 38% from 3 this year. He's 37.5% for his career. Led the league in steals with 1.9 a game.
Yep.
He was 17, 5, and 2 while playing elite, like all defense, quality defense.
And a stat Mike Brown would love, top 3 in the league in deflections.
Oof.
How about that?
Give him the chain.
Good stat.
Give him the chain.
So this is the kind of player we're talking about, though, for the
Yes.
Kings. Like OG is a guy who can score. He's going to knock down a 3. And when Steph Curry has 34 points through 3 quarters, you go, okay, shut that faucet off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like that's
with some real length and size.
Right.
That's where Davion lacks.
And you're not playing where you feel 4-on-5 on offense. OG can score the ball.
Absolutely.
Right. The problem is, and this is what you guys were kicking around at the break.
All sounds great.
I love the
Sign me
idea.
up.
But those conversations with the Raptors, a rebuilding team, very likely start with Keegan Murray.
Absolutely.
Yes. They probably start and end there, I'd imagine.
I was going to say, I don't think that they do the deal without him. I can't imagine.
Right. So they're calling and they're saying, so Monty McNair calls and says, hey, what do you want for OG? The Raptors are going, okay, well, it starts with Keegan. That's, after that, though, what is it, Davion?
I think that would. Let me first and foremost. I'm not comfortable with giving up Keegan Murray. I think he was showing some flashes in the playoffs. So let me start with that before I move further on. I'm not comfortable with including him in the steal.
No, I'm not saying this is what they have to do. I'm trying to lay out what it has to look like.
Yeah, but I think Keegan and Davion probably gets it done, in my opinion.
And the money works.
I think the money works. The only problem I have in looking at his contract situation is he is young and he has 2 years left on his deal. One of those is a player option. So let's say he does come to Sacramento, and I think Sacramento right now is in a very good spot as far as players that have come here want to stay here. You've heard of him, Trey Lyles, Sabonis, Malik. I think Malik is someone who want to be here at past his last year of his deal next year. What if it backfires and you trade 2 young controllable players in Keegan Murray and Davion Mitchell, who both have 5, 6, 7 years of control? They both have to go through restricted free agency for OG, who could be a free agent come a year from right now. That's the only fear.
Yeah. I think also for me to build upon that is, I don't know if OG's a needle mover. Like, I don't know if getting OG and Anunoby, like, he's a phenomenal role player. Like everything, 16, 5, 1, gets deflections. That's all fantastic. But for what we just saw in the playoffs, I don't know if OG is necessarily somebody that you're going to rely on. I don't know if that's somebody that, when you think about what Keegan can provide, maybe what Davion can provide against we saw the perfect matchup, him going against Steph. Like, yeah, you can use OG as that Davion replacement, but I just don't know if you can get you would have to, it's not OG and that's the answer. All your problems are solved. You still need a lot of guys on the back end that would need to kind of supplement. I mean, Keegan Murray just shot 40% in his rookie year from 3. Like, that's not something, who knows what he's going to grow.
You're
to
expecting
be on.
an ascension.
Exactly. And I'm just not sure. I'm not sure that it's worth, because also Davion and Keegan is a good start, but OG, from what I understood at the deadline last year, they were asking for multiple first-round picks on top of players as well.
Right.
So that's where it's like, I'm not sure that's worth it. And I know the Kings now are hoping to not be in those lottery situations, but we just got incredibly fortunate with health this year. If De'Aaron goes down, if Sabonis goes down, if OG Anunoby, somebody who the reason why he wasn't drafted highly was because he has 2 bad knees, goes down next year and they lose 40 games, like that's then a really, really high asking price.
And this reeks of the type of move, and I'm not disparaging OG Anunoby as a player.
No, there's just
this
risk.
is the type of move that would knock the Kings off that course that we were just talking about.
Right.
Where that's the type of move that it's like, all right, pushing chips into the table, no more Davion, no more Keegan Murray.
Right.
Okay, so he's an upgrade over Harrison Barnes.
Right.
Okay, that's great.
What happens with Keegan Murray?
But what does it look like, to Frankie's point, what does that look like in 5 years?
Yeah.
And that's where OG's probably going to get maxed out by whatever team signs them.
Mm-hmm.
And he feels like the kind of player, like Cam Johnson is another player we were kind of talking about yesterday. Cam Johnson's a restricted free agent.
Yeah.
If you're cashing out Cam Johnson, a really good player, he can be a role player on a title team. We saw it when he was with the Suns. They didn't win it, but he was really good for a team that went to the finals. But like, if he's a max player on your roster, are you building a title?
I don't know about that.
With that?
Right.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
And I think he's going to get max money or something close to that. They're gonna pay him
From somebody
a lot.
else, right? Because I mean, Brooklyn's got wings on wings. So would they let him go? You guys think?
I don't know. Kyle brought up a good point yesterday. If they just traded Kevin Durant for him, so you'd probably want to retain things that you just got rid of.
Then Mikal Bridges, though.
Yeah, but they got Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson. You know, you should want to retain everything.
Max money's tough.
I don't know if he'll get max,
I
but
said max.
yeah, he'll get. Who knows?
He's
like
gonna get
20
paid,
plus.
though.
20
I would say
plus
15
million.
to 20 is probably what I would expect for Cam.
Quick thought. This is going. I think Kuzma's been a very big. Kyle Kuzma has been a very.
Is he a free agent?
Yeah, he's a free agent. I like Kuz. It depends what his valuation is. Like I he's somebody who can score for sure. It's probably a little bit of, takes more shots than you would want him to, but he's also a great rebounder. I think I'd be willing to listen to it. He's somebody who can create his own shot. We saw that was an issue for the Kings, that only De'Aaron and Malik were able to create their shots in that series. And
is he defensive liability is the question, I guess.
Everybody on this Kings team is. At least he provides some real length. He's a legit 6'9", 6'10".
He's better than Harrison Barnes.
Well, he'd be a shot maker.
He's
a shot maker
absolutely
that you need down the
shot
stretch.
maker.
Yeah.
Right. And the Kings were already terrible at defense. I don't know if they could get much worse.
You want to stick around for one more segment?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Frankie's going to come back on the other side. Covers the Kings for SactownSports.com. We're going to continue this conversation. We'll pick this up. Free agents to be for the Kings. Who's coming back? Who's not? Free agents that are out there. Who could they bring in? We're discussing all of that right here on Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
He goes, awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy.
Purdy going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Devo 10. Devo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Arnold Law Firm.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your Tuesday forecast looking and feeling a lot like yesterday. Well, periods of on and off again showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, and highs top out in the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Progressive protects more than just your home and car. You could save when you bundle your motorcycles, ATVs, boats, and RVs. Doesn't that sound good? Like the sound of the wind in the trees as your RV sits parked in the forest.
Is that the call of the majestic owl? And there's the sound of a tree branch crashing into the roof of your RV. Oof, I guess their nest was in that branch. But you know what does sound good? You're covered with Progressive. So bundle all your vehicles and home in one place and save with the multi-policy discount. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers.
Don't miss the wine event of the year, the Lodi Wine Experience, May 19th and 20th. Saturday's event features hundreds of Lodi wines from more than 40 wineries, the region's best food trucks, including Cousin's Maine Lobster, Nash and Proper, Park Sparks Barbecue, guided wine seminars, and more. The Lodi Wine Experience, May 19th and 20th, an iconic weekend of world-class wines, delicious food, and live music at Lodi Lake Park. Tickets at LodiWineExperience.com. Must be 21 and over.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
To make room for new merchandise, RC Willey is having a spring clearance event. Thursday through Saturday, enjoy clearance savings on scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, display models, and discontinued items. Shop the large clearance centers inside all RC Willey locations for savings up to 40% on appliances and save up to 70% on sofas, sectionals, dining, and bedroom sets. Shop early because clearance deals will go quickly. Bring your trucks and trailers, deliveries not available. Don't miss the spring clearance event inside RC Willey.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer. But don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports headlines. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and it is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. Warriors will try and tie up the series at one game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. The Oakland A's will try and avoid the sweep today against the Seattle Mariners. Drew Wisniewski will get the start for the A's with the first pitch scheduled for 12:37. Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can listen to the entire interview on SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madsen and our guest, the Kings cowboy himself, Frankie Cartiselli.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Rocking with you till 2 o'clock. Kyle Madsen, Chris Watkins, Frankie Cartiselli in the building. The Kings Cowboy.
So close. Almost made it through. Almost made it through one time.
Covers the Kings as well as a bunch of other stuff here at Sactown Sports. We're having a really fun conversation about the Kings offseason. I just want to remind you, if you're watching on YouTube right now at youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140, if you're watching there and you've not hit the thumbs up, please do so now. It's right below the video. If you're not subscribed, please do so. Catch all the content here on Sactown Sports. We got to 106 likes yesterday.
Boom.
I would like to get beyond that number.
Yeah.
So if you're watching right now, just hit the like button.
I just did it.
Thanks, man. Wow. We're up to 49.
Yeah.
Shout
The
out.
morning show got 87 today.
All right.
We can blow that out of the water.
beat that.
Dude, our advanced stats are so crazy. The value over replacement show is just like,
I totally
that
agree.
number is crazy
Our
right now.
VORs.
Our VORs right now is through the roof, and
This
morning
is
show's lacking.
Talk radio analytics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
We did a whole
thing
on
about it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we talked about the NBA just making up stats.
Yeah.
Which
Like
one?
Raptor.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Raptor,
Can someone?
LeBron. He said Carmelo yesterday.
What is Raptor? What is Raptor?
He read it yesterday. You read like literally
robust algorithm pertaining to player performance on court.
I think that's too many P's.
What the hell is that?
Dude, it's too many words.
Yeah.
But clearly they were like, hey, we want to make it spell Raptor.
Yeah, exactly.
So robust algorithm, that's how we can start it.
Yeah.
What would King be? King.
It would be Kang, probably.
Kang. We'll have to think that
up. It would be crazy analytics, not
great. Not great.
Not great stats.
Not great
stats.
Yeah. We were talking about having this offseason for the Kings. Harrison Barnes, Trey Lyles, Terrence Davis, Chimezie Metu,
Alex Len,
and Deli. Is there any player that you guys look at, and Frankie, we'll start with you, but Chris, I want you to answer as well. Is there any player in that group that you look at and go, they absolutely have to bring this guy back?
To that extent, no. But I'll say I feel very strongly of all those about having Trey Lyles come back.
I agree.
Talk about it.
Yeah, the Trey base. Chris is the leader of the Trey base. I just think having that stability off the bench and how the Kings have been
he's really the leader.
Yeah,
Chris is the leader.
Mm-hmm.
He's the leader of the Trey base.
I mean, I guess you're right. Chris is the leader of the Trey base.
Yeah, I think did you coin that term?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, he's the leader.
I literally just made it up one day.
Yeah, someone came up with the president of the United States. That doesn't make them the president of the United States.
Well,
it's a great point.
Chris, do you want to defend yourself?
No, I don't really understand.
I don't think that he is the guy. I think he's one of the guys.
Does Chris need to wear a Trey Lyles jersey to the studio every day to be valid in that argument?
My girlfriend made a Trey Bay shirt and didn't make one. She bought one off Etsy.
If you print those, those might do well. But
stop trying to get people to not wear Kings Cowboy shirts.
I know.
That's a great idea for a shirt.
What, Kings Cowboy?
No, I'm just saying that's what Frankie does all the time.
Yeah.
I've said this before, not for the Kings Cowboy shirt, because Chris and I have had ideas with shirts too. We need a store. We need a Sactown Sports store. And Trey Bays would be a shirt that would do well. But no, I think Trey Lyles, his impact, the stability he brings from a backup power forward / even backup center, as we saw in the playoff standpoint, he's very versatile. I think it's important to have guys that want to be here. And from a chemistry standpoint, seeing him in those pictures every time he had
throwing up the fours
with the squinted eyes. He always had like the look going. So I think that it was have you ever seen the pictures?
The Deepog chase?
What is that? That's like the
yeah, I've never noticed Trey Lyles specifically.
Oh yeah, Trey gives real like super light skin face. And
yeah,
like,
he does a face. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, throws up fours.
Every time. Everyone does their own thing. And De'Aaron did his own thing every time too. He did the 2 fingers to the head, I think.
Yeah, the rock star.
But Trey Lyles, I'm all in on Trey Lyles going back.
Yeah. To me, that's, I mean, not because I am the originator of the Trey Bay, but just I think that Trey really provided a lot that this team needs. There was the flexibility of him to switch over to the 5 was huge, and they didn't really go to it in that Warrior series, but I would have liked to see maybe in a Lakers series against Anthony Davis to pull him out of the paint. I think he has value there, but we were kind of talking about it, I think off air. I don't think it mentioned on air, but Sasha is the question for Trey. Like, can those two coexist? I think is a question that Monty McNair is going to have to look at with the Trey Lyles decision, because it could affect Sasha's wanting to come over. We've heard that part of the reason why he didn't want to come over is because he didn't feel like there was a clear and obvious role for him with the team. Maybe if they re-sign Trey, that kind of muddies up those waters a little. But
could he fill a Harrison Barnes role?
Possibly, but I don't think I don't know if he has the lateral quickness to stay with 3s. And I don't know if he has the strength to deal with 4s. And that's literally, he's been playing in EuroLeague, so I don't know how that'll translate, but
his defense,
I have questions about it for sure.
It's scary. I think that's a very scary aspect of his game. We know he can shoot that thing. We know he can bring that, but
I feel a lot better with him coming off the bench at this moment.
Above all, the Kings need defensive impact. I think 3-point shooting is going to be a great addition to have Sasha, but the defense was
26th defense in the league,
bottom 5 in the league. Yeah,
worst of any playoff team.
Yeah, and it was definitely not a schematic thing. It was definitely just they didn't have the dudes.
Yeah.
It's ability.
Yeah. Mike Brown is a defensive guy through and through, and would have gladly traded the number 1 historic offense for a number 1 historic defense, and they settled on 26th in defense.
It's a pretty funny storyline from that season is, the Kings hired a defensive-minded coach, then the season ends and they have the best offense of all time.
He was still a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
Just,
the players didn't.
Well, it's like, could you imagine how bad they would be defensively?
It's like, no,
if he wasn't.
He's a genius because he breaks down the other team's defenses. That's
right.
what makes him a genius.
Light years.
So when we talk about expectations and like improving and what does it look like?
Yeah.
That's one of the things is for Monty McNair and Mike Brown to take this version of the roster. They're going to make their tweaks to it or whatever. And then can your defense be middle of the pack next year? Maybe even bottom to middle of the pack. You know, that kind of like 16 to 18 range. Where it's like, okay, there were some steps forward there. They recognized the weakness. They improved on it. That's what I'm looking for next year when you talk about like, what's the expectation? How do they get better?
Yeah.
That's I think the big thing for me.
Yeah. And to me, that starts with length too. Like there's just kind of a general lacking of guys who are 6'8", 6'9", and have those big wingspans, those Jared Vanderbilt types.
Right.
You know, they really only have Harrison and Keegan are the only two guys on the roster that could match up with a guy like Kuminga or like Andrew Wiggins or like a LeBron, or the list goes on and on of guys that, you know, are the best small forwards in this league. The Kings just kind of don't have anyone to match any of those guys.
So wait, what was your pick? Did you have a pick, Kyle, about who you want to come back or who you think on that list? Are we all in agreement in Trey Lyles?
Yeah. So I'm punting on Harrison Barnes.
That was my next question. Where does that leave Harrison Barnes? Where does that leave you guys on Harrison Barnes?
Somewhere else.
You got to move out.
You know how
you got to move on. Like, I know they brought him here hoping that he could be that like small ball 5 or small ball 4. He's going to play really good defense. And he just never, like, they obviously weren't good for the first couple of years he was here. And then this year, like, he had some moments, but to me, like, they need to outgrow what Harrison Barnes provides.
Yeah.
So that's, if he's going to come back super cheap and come off the bench, then okay, maybe you feel a little better about it. But he's in a spot for me where, like, dude, I watched this guy as a rookie, and it was always like, when he got drafted, it was, you know what, very talented, disappears for stretches. On the Warriors, he would, really talented player, disappear for stretches. Dallas, same issue. Gets here to Sacramento, and it's like, how many times did we do a preview for a game and we went, would like to see more from Harrison Barnes tonight, and it just never got there?
Well, it's an interesting thing, actually. You think about it. He's entering his age 31 season. He's gotten 2 big paydays. He's gotten a big contract from the Mavericks, got a big contract from the Kings. It wouldn't make, I mean, I would be in the camp of, I'm open to him coming back and being for a respectable, like, decent contract and being in a bench reserve role. I think as a guy who is a team player who wants to be here, I don't think that would be a bad idea. Now, the only question is, are there any teams out there that would be willing to offer him more? And I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
I can't imagine.
The only situation I can imagine him going to would be like a Rockets kind of situation where they're looking to kind of make that next, kind of like
to build something.
It's really crazy how Harrison has just managed to be this role of like this transition, not necessarily basketball sense transition, but like a transitioning small forward. You know, like he's that guy that you put in there to kind of solidify the position, but the Warriors, they were like, Harrison's cool, he's fine, we can do a lot better, let's go get Kevin Durant. And now the Kings are pretty much in that same situation, not necessarily go get Kevin Durant, but Harrison, cool, fine, steadied the ship for a lot of years. We need to get better at that spot. And so I think
he's going to have that big of a role.
I think his next spot, you know, he's 31. This is his last opportunity for a big payday of a 4-year contract, a 3-year big contract. I have a tough time seeing him being like, you know, I will take $12-13 million to be that bench, but mainly reserve guy. I just have a tough time seeing that.
Dwayne in the chat says Memphis, which that's what you're gonna say too. Yeah, Dwayne says Memphis. Yeah, great. That's a great call. That's a great move. They move on from Dylan Brooks. I think he'd fit well there. So
that is definitely a culture shift for sure. Right. Yeah.
I think he would help Memphis a lot. That's a really great call by Dwayne.
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in this HB thing because Dean in the chat also has a question about Harrison Barnes. That I think we can discuss. Frankie, if you want to stick around, you can.
I'll stay till.
All right,
till
Frankie's
12,
going to stay. We're going to keep talking Harrison Barnes on the other side.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track. makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Near the banks of the Sacramento River, Perry Dye of the famous Dye family of golf architects designed Bartley Kavanagh Golf Course as Sacramento's #1 course for fun. Dye's design and mixture of holes assures players of a fun-filled day with friends. Bartley Kavanagh's moderately sized greens and generous fairway landing areas make for an affordable and fun round of golf. After golf, relax on the outdoor veranda with a cold beverage or a tasty meal. For tee times, visit bartleykavanagh.com. It's Sacramento's #1 course for fun.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge,
Oh, what you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoot and Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 340 and Stony's Rockin' Rodeo.
Depression, anxiety, and trauma can happen to anyone. You aren't alone. 1 in 5 of us will have a mental health issue in our lifetime. And just like other illnesses, people who get support and treatment find healing and hope. Check in with someone you're worried about. And if you're feeling pain, ask for help. There's no shame in taking care of yourself or the people you care about. Be there for someone who's hurting, even if that someone is you. Learn more at StopStigmaSacramento.org.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit.
What would it take for a plumbing company to earn your trust? Jerry and Kenny here from Bell Brothers. And let's face it, plumbing and service companies don't always have the best reputation.
So to earn your trust, the first thing they'd have to do is actually answer the phone when you call with a real live person. Then they'd have to send a plumber when you needed them, day or night, without charging extra for emergency services.
A trustworthy plumber would show up on time, wearing a clean uniform and name badge, and be able to show that they had passed a background check and drug test.
A plumber you could trust would give you a firm quote on the job before starting and clean up after they finish the job.
That's exactly the plumber you'll get when you call Bell Brothers, a plumber you can trust. Call Bell Brothers right now for all your plumbing needs. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
That's story time coming up in just a couple of minutes. Oh, yeah.
Frank's going to be here for story time.
story time.
Frank, have you ever done a story time before?
I think on the last Jason Moe show, I was here for it. Yeah, RIP.
Shout out to Jason Moe.
Yeah.
We're talking Harrison Barnes right now. We got story time coming up in a couple of minutes. 339-1140. That's the text line. 916-339-1140. 1-800-920-1140 if you want to call the show. What's Kings offseason look like? Trey Lyles coming back. Harrison Barnes coming back. We're discussing all of that right now. Also, youtube.com/SactownSports1140. If you're there, smash that like button. It's just right underneath. It's a little thumbs up underneath the video. We got to 106 likes yesterday. We're trying to break the record today. What did the morning show get? 81?
87.
87.
We're
trying
at
to
60 right now.
We're trying to beat the morning show.
They're on the way. Two more hours to go. Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, we're pacing.
Sports analytics, that's less than 30. That's less than 10 an hour, right? No, it's more than 10 an hour.
Oof.
Math is hard.
Come on,
That's hard.
guy.
If we're going to do 100, it's 25 an hour for a 4-hour show.
You need 26 more.
Here we
yeah.
go.
Had a babe.
There you go.
Math.
Dean in the chat says if Harrison Barnes can come off the bench and play the Lyles role, that's not bad. What do you think about that? Harrison Barnes is a small ball 5.
I mean, they've tried it.
Interesting.
They've tried it at times before. It's not something I really like. I mean, the NBA now is not really traditionally big. You don't need a dominant big, but I will say when there is a imposing big in the paint, like we saw against Golden State, and again, it's not really just a Kings issue. The Lakers, who have Anthony Davis, who also had a monster game, still couldn't keep Kevon Looney off the boards. The Kings need someone, I think, in my opinion, that can combat that. And I don't know if having Harrison Barnes be that bench presence or someone to go play in that role is really an equalizer in that end. I think they need someone that can crash the glass and rebound. And while Harrison Barnes is someone who has proven he can rebound before, I don't think it's really that in that process. Like it wouldn't happen in that flow of the game.
That's kind of what I'm wondering. If you move him to that role, though, if you're like, dude, your job is to get rebounds and draw fouls.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of that's when he was at his most effective against Golden State, and then he'd get a mismatch on the
down 2 threes. That's all we need
on the perimeter, and he'd drive, and it's like, oh hey, there's Harrison Barnes, and then he would just disappear.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture him in like that PJ Tucker role, right? Like that's kind of what that would have to look like, is him just kind of being a junkyard. To me, that's Harrison
Barnes doesn't
changing
have that dog in him.
Chris, have you talked to Chris about Harrison Barnes? Have you established that Chris?
No.
Okay, maybe you should share. Maybe you should share.
I'm not an HB guy for the reasons that you kind of listed out. It's just like
don't got that dog.
Way too many times you want more from him and he doesn't give it to you, and he'll have these wonderful 22-point performances and then go on streaks of 7 and all of this stuff, and I feel like I've said it multiple times, but he's a dude who, when you look at his talents, he can do a little bit of everything. But way too many times he gives you a whole lot of nothing. And it's like, I need you to either be a Swiss Army knife or just be a really impact role player. And he kind of just floats between both of those things. And it's just really, he's just a really, really frustrating player. He's somebody that you always will want more from. And that's my big problem with him, especially if we're going to re-up and sign up for 3 more years of him, or however how much longer. It's just like you're signing up for, I don't want to say mediocrity, but you're just signing up for you're capping yourself essentially. You are capping how good you can be at that position. And I just don't want to re-sign up for that.
It's a very tough call. I mean, I think, like we talked about, you need to improve in that position. And ideally, I think Harrison Barnes in a bench role would make sense for this team for the right money. But I just don't know if that's something he's going to go for at this point, and especially because he was productive. I think he averaged like 14 and 5, and he shot 38 from 3. I think he'll get some offers out there, but ideally, putting him in that bench role would be great. But also at the same time, it's going to hurt to move on from him, because
no doubt,
I think he is someone who he's loved in that locker room. I think
big time.
De'Aaron Fox, they all do.
I think that's his greatest value at this point, is his locker room veteran presence.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and you lose that. I mean, you have guys that can step up. I mean, Sabonis and Fox are for sure guys that can have a voice in that locker room. Malik Monk is someone I think who can definitely have a voice. Maybe Keegan Murray will start talking at some point and start taking that on that role someday. But
I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
I'm not betting on that.
No, but the Kings want to fill that void, and that'll be tough. But I don't think it's a question of you need to improve that position. It's just how. And can you find someone there that's realistically better than Harrison Barnes for the Sacramento Kings? Right now, I think free agents, it was talked about with Sam Amick and Dave and Jason, how incoming free agents, I think this has been the best time, the best the Kings have ever looked as far as a possible landing spot. Right now, since the early 2000s, mid-2000s, right now is the best time for that. So maybe that helps.
Let's put a pin in the Kings conversation. It's lunchtime stories with Chris. We have no idea where these stories are going to go, but let's get to it.
Same thing as yesterday. No time for the opener. Let's get right into it. This is London, UK, courtesy of the Daily Mail.
Oi, bruv.
Jack the Ripper is Metropolitan Police Officer Bowden Endicott.
Really?
What?
It's solved?
That is, if you believe historian Rod Beatty's theory. Jack the Ripper is famous for being known as a famous serial killer, one of the first famous serial killers. The city of London was on edge during the late summer and fall of 1888 Oof. He is believed to have murdered 5 women: Marianne Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly.
R.I.P.
Wow.
Beatty has spent 20 years going through National Archives putting together the case that the killer was an aggrieved police constable. He says Endicott was a reserve Met police officer and would have been patrolling the streets of Whitechapel at the time of the murders. Also, a year before the murders, Endicott was convicted of wrongfully arresting Elizabeth Cass, who he accused of being a sex worker. He also had to move to London after he fathered a child out of wedlock. Beatty believes that he snapped after those 2 events and went on a frenzy of murderous revenge. He also notes that there is no concrete proof that he did it, but there isn't really any proof that any of the suspects have done it.
So have you heard of H.H. Holmes?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're supposed to make a movie about that with like Leo, I think him and Scorsese bought the rights to it, I think.
Love that idea. There's a theory and a full documentary on like Discovery Plus that H.H. Holmes is Jack the Ripper.
It wasn't him.
The same guy?
Yeah.
Were you there, Chris?
No, but I've watched both of them. It wasn't him.
I think it was him. I'm buying
it was him.
I'm buying it was H.H. Holmes more than I'm buying it.
That wasn't his operandi. He didn't kill the same way that Jack the Ripper killed. Jack the Ripper killed in a certain way. H.H. Holmes killed in a certain way. They don't match.
He evolved.
He evolved.
I need to watch this.
You're really big into murder mysteries, aren't you?
Yeah.
Big true crime guy?
Yeah.
Attracts you.
I've never done it. I've never done it, but one of my dreams is to be part of a murder mystery
Okay.
like event.
Oof.
Not kill somebody.
Oh my God.
Chris is like,
Hey guys, let's all make a pact. We're talking about it on the air as well.
We're on the radio.
Yeah, we did that when me and my friends got together. We did one of those like murder mystery board games.
Yeah.
Ton of fun. Do you have
I hear
another
they're
one for
really
us?
hard.
Okay.
Real quick.
Jalisco, Mexico.
Love it.
CBS News. Prosecutors in Mexico said Saturday that they have seized a huge collection of exotic animals.
Ooh.
10 tigers, 6 jaguars, 5 lions, and other animals, including antelopes, a llama, deer, and birds at the property.
Whoa.
Authorities said they are not clear why the animals were being kept, but it was presumed that they were being held illegally. Imagine that.
Yeah. In Mexico?
This also comes after American prosecutors have accused some drug lords using tigers to attack their victims and keep those animals as pets.
Meow.
Sounds like a blast.
That's story time.
That is story time.
Time for vacation.
Few more deaths than we've had in the last few.
Wow.
11:50 lunchtime stories each day. Yep. Lock in, folks. We need to hit the break. On the other side, we're talking expectations for the Kings this year, and a play in baseball last night that for some reason got people mad.
Got people big mad.
Super weird. Let's get into it on the other side. Frankie, appreciate you, the Kings Cowboy, coming in, hanging out with us for the hour. This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Shots, rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Attorney Joe Cordell.
Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Feel and hear the power of America's
muscle cars, and more at the Trans Am Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. Enjoy the open race panic and be immersed among the teams. From the top of the corkscrew to the bottom of turn 1, it's 3 days of racing thrills for the whole family. For tickets, call 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. Speed Fest, May 5th through 7th at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca in Monterey.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Progressive covers pets in our auto policy at no extra charge. Now let's see what your dog has to say.
As a dog, I think Progressive's auto pet policy is... Oh, what is that? That's just Mateo. Weird. Anyway, Progressive protects... There it is again. See? This is why I need protection. I'm so distracted. Nope, that is still Mateo.
Progressive Auto Insurance covers pets for up to $1,000 in a car accident at no extra charge. And we think your dog would say that's great too. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage for cats and dogs included with the purchase of collision coverage and subject to policy terms.
It's a new era of entertainment at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. See the incredible rock band, the Black Crowes, live at The Venue on Saturday, May 6th. Tickets are on sale now at ThunderValleyResort.com. Looking for more sports action? Republic FC has you covered as the club hosts another David versus Goliath showdown at Hart Health Park. On May 9th at 7:30 p.m., SRFC will take on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 and the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on the line. It's $5 beer night. We need Sacramento to pack the house, so secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at SacRepublicFC.com/tickets.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Sacramento Kings.
It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lotta here at Sactown Sports Headlines. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and it is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. Warriors will try and tie up the series at 1 game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. The Oakland A's will try to avoid the sweep today against the Seattle Mariners. Drew Wisniewski will get the start for the A's with first pitch scheduled for 12:37. Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 Executive of the Year Monty McNair joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can watch the entire interview on SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madsen.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and company now. YouTube.com/SactownSports1140.
Kyle Madsen, I'm the company today, hanging out with Chris.
Yeah.
If you do happen to be watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. It's a little thumbs up right below the video. Subscribe if you have not, but definitely hit that like button.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even have to, if you hit the like, you don't have to like do anything. It doesn't make you go anywhere. It just pushes our video up the board.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're trying to do. We're also trying to beat the morning show. We're in a contest with the morning show. The morning show doesn't know about.
Nope.
They got 87 today.
Yeah.
We're trying to get to 88 minimum.
Yeah. That should be easy. Yesterday, yeah, we
got
got
106.
ended at right at this moment. People have watched, the archived episodes. If you can't catch it now, you can watch it later. Hit the thumbs up later. Still counts all the same. Sitting at 109 right now.
I love that.
From yesterday.
I love that for both of us.
That's the highest of the week. So
no big deal.
I feel like today's our biggest show. So feels like today should be the day that we set the record.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you.
I'm with you, bro.
King season's over. That doesn't mean Sactown sports are done.
No,
because Sac Republic's making moves. If you're looking for more sports action, Republic FC has you covered as they host another David v. Goliath showdown.
Ooh,
that's right there at Heart Health Park. Excuse me.
Ooh, okay. I like that.
I thought I was getting a little.
I did too. A little bit. I was like that. That goes.
Oh yeah. On May 9th at 7:30 p.m., SRFC will take on Major League Soccer's Colorado Rapids in a winner-take-all match with a ticket to advance to the round of 16 in the 2023 Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup on the line. Ladies and gentlemen, it's $5 beer night, and we need Sacramento to pack the house. Secure your seat for the match starting at $17 at sacrepublicfc.com/tickets.
Hey, how about that?
$5 beer night. I might pull up.
That's big. Like,
I think I'm going to pull up.
Sac Republic games are already one of the funnest things you can do, just like on
They're
a random. Is this going to be on a weekend? It doesn't matter what day of the week it is, but it's always like if you're
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Thursday,
perfect.
Tuesday.
That's
a Tuesday.
That's almost better too, because it's like, what else are you going to do on a Tuesday, right? Like you can either just stay home, you can order takeout, or you can go to $5 beer night at Sac Republic and have the day of your life, the Tuesday of the year.
Going out
on a Tuesday.
Is that an I Love McConan reference?
Going out on a Tuesday. It's that
Club
meme.
going up?
Yeah.
It's the meme of the little kid dancing in the club.
nothing for you.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to figure. I'm asking you.
You've seen it 1,000 times on Twitter, I guarantee.
I haven't. I'm sorry. I know what you want from me, bro. We've been talking about expectations for the Kings for next year. Daryl Morey telling Monty McNair that his prize for winning Executive of the Year is irrationally high expectations in the future.
Okay.
I don't know, man. It feels like that's the goal of every GM should be like, yeah, my fan base should expect a championship.
Expect a championship. It means you're doing well. It means that your team on the floor looks like they should contend for a title.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good thing.
That doesn't mean he gets canned if they don't have a title in 2 years or 3 years or whatever.
Right. That's like an 8-year down the road thing.
Right,
which is again a great problem.
At some point, you're hoping that your roster is so good that your fans are like,
people are like, "How do we not? We're so good. How do we not win?"
Right.
Not,
Right.
Oh, I understand why we don't win. We should have these expectations.
You want to get to the point where it's like regular season,
schmegular
doesn't matter. Match up against whoever in the playoffs you feel good about.
Where Golden State is right now, clearly.
Where Golden State is.
Yeah.
Where the Sixers have gotten, where the Celtics and the Bucks. All these good teams, that's kind of where they get the
Nuggets,
Suns, Nuggets, Suns post KD trade.
Yeah.
I mean, even pre KD trade, but
it was starting to get there for sure.
Definitely post KD trade. Yeah, I don't buy the idea. I think of a Kings fan right now was like, if they don't win a title next year, fire everybody.
Right.
Okay, that's irrational.
Yeah.
Pause. But I haven't heard a single Kings fan have an irrationally high thought. Like you go through again, our YouTube chat is such a small subsection of Kings fan, but if you go through the YouTube chat right now, it's all just very reasonable.
Right.
It's all very like, yeah, get better at this spot. We were just talking to Frankie Cartiselli, who covers the Kings for Sactown Sports, talking about get a little bit better here. Can you get a little bit better at the Harrison Barnes spot?
Right.
Can you upgrade over Terrence Davis? Like, it's just small tweaks like that, and then you kind of build from there and see where it goes. I don't think that's irrational. You want your team to improve?
Right.
I think that's fine.
I think the only irrational things I think I've seen since the Kings exit has been the trade Sabonis stuff, which is just, I mean, that's so irrational. It's unbelievable how irrational that is. It's crazy to even say that. It doesn't even make sense. Like, that's
I can't believe that people go there.
That's not happening.
The thing with me on that, it's like, I'm the most irrational fan ever.
Mm-hmm.
I will lean into that. I will buy it. There are people who won't watch games with me anymore. Like, I'm so annoying to watch sports with, and I know it, and I feel so bad about it, but I can't help it. Oh my God.
I don't think I would have guessed that for you.
When, dude, if I'm around like I read the vibe, I read the room.
Right.
But when I'm with my family and I'm watching playoff games,
full steam.
I'm letting it rip,
Right.
dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I'm very typical like knee jerk reaction fan.
Mhm.
Like everybody can get it during a game.
Mhm.
Steph Curry, I'm like,
Yeah.
I hate
Bad
that
shot,
shot,
dude.
bad shot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I get if somebody's like, you know what, if Sabonis was 20% better, the Kings are playing the Lakers right now with a chance to go to the conference finals. I get that. And I get even if your knee-jerk reaction in the moment is get rid of him. Okay, that's where my brain would go to, but like, let's also take a step back. That's where the irrationality comes in.
What do you think is an irrational expectation for next year? Like, let's put a number to it. Let's put a round to it. What would be something that's just like, dude, you need to reevaluate how you think this next season's going to go?
I don't think that outside of like missing the playoffs entirely with the same group, where everybody just regresses and it's awful. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't want to say off the table because I don't want to take anything necessarily off the table, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm not going to live in that realm.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking also irrationally positive, like irrationally, like, oh, the Kings next season, if they're not winning,
right?
I'll say if the Kings aren't winning 60 games or contesting for 55 plus games and don't at least make it to the second round with a chance to go to the third, which is already adding some rationality.
Right, this is a lot. But
like that to me is like that's the step where it's like, all right, buddy, like let's
the expectation is set to where if they fall below that,
Mm-hmm.
you're going, this season was a failure to borrow a word from Giannis.
Yeah.
And like for me, it's just make the playoffs again.
I agree.
Make the playoffs as a top 6 seed.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Don't be the 10 seed and sneak in via the play-in.
Right.
Make the playoffs as a top 6 seed. I don't even care if you're the 6.
No, I don't either.
Because who knows? Maybe somebody in the West gets
this
better.
year was so weird.
Maybe they have an injury where they, like I said, or somebody's unavailable for 2 weeks, and I want to leave the door open for them to struggle and still have it be okay.
Yes.
And just make the playoffs again.
Right.
Show that, hey, this formula works and it needs tweaks now.
Yeah.
That's what my expectation
Without
is
making a big swing
for next year.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I'm not projecting out over the next 5. At some point, you're going to need to take a step beyond that. But they snapped a 16-year playoff drought or a 16-season playoff drought.
Right.
Like that's the expectation now is just do it again. Can you do that?
Yes.
Can you repeat?
So I want to throw Minnesota as an example here of what they exactly shouldn't do, because Minnesota is a team that you saw last year go into the play-in, win the play-in, make the playoffs, and then find themselves in the situation that the Kings are in right now. Obviously, a little bit different in terms of seeding. The Kings had more success in their season of making the playoffs than the Timberwolves did. The Timberwolves kind of limped in, if you will.
Right.
The Timberwolves then decided, okay, we have Anthony Edwards, we have Karl Anthony Towns, we're ready to take the next step. And for them, the next step was going all the way in on Rudy Gobert and getting rid of every asset that they have and going full tilt into the Rudy Gobert will take us to another level camp. To me, that's absolutely, the Kings cannot do that.
I agree.
Because to me, that's where you look at Minnesota then this year, where Minnesota made the play-in, but that's where expectations are going to be way too high, is when there's not another move to be made. So if the Kings make the playoffs next year with a similar core and didn't do the OG Anunoby trade, maybe we'll say they kept Harrison Barnes, or not even, we'll say they slightly upgraded from the Barnes position, but didn't give up a ton of assets in order to do it. You have to still be able to sell yourself on, okay, maybe next year we can make the move to push yourself in. Once you make the move, there's clearly not an easier path now. Minnesota's finding themselves probably having to move on from Karl Anthony Towns this summer. That's where you don't want to be, is to go all in and then be like, well, now there's no other possible way up.
They traded Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Leandro Bolmaro,
and Barbosa,
Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, 4 first-round picks with a 2026 pick swap.
And that's for Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
That's for Rudy Gobert. And
that would making a deal like that for a player like that would draw way more ire than anything the Kings are going to do on the court.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I agree with you.
I've got a player. I'm curious what you think about them. What if the Kings were to do that move for somebody? That's a tease right there.
That's a great tease. Chris and Co. We're back in 90 seconds. 90 seconds. Hang on. Pause. Go ahead.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
They will be facing off with the Los Angeles Lakers, game number 1 on Tuesday night.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back,
Now Jason's sad.
You made Jason sad with your music.
You made Jason sad.
You played the music.
You told me to play it. I am the producer. I produce.
I disagree.
Okay. Wow.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Dude, you dropped the tease. You bring it. Kyle Madsen, Chris Watkins,
Chris
you had the
company.
Yeah, you had the tease. Let it rip.
So, Kyle, in the last segment, we were talking about the Minnesota move for Rudy Gobert and how the Kings shouldn't try and make that move because it's too much of going all in, and I don't think that they're at that point yet.
And ruining you can't quantify this, but the Kings vibe was great this year.
Incredible.
The Timberwolves vibe at the end of last year was so good.
Yeah. Oh,
and
yeah.
then they just
Right.
nuked it.
Yeah. Look at Kyle Anderson punching Rudy Gobert punching Kyle Anderson at the end of the season.
Yikes.
Yeah. What if we look at this Clippers situation and Kawhi is going to be out next year, presumably. He what I can't remember what the official I think it was torn meniscus for Kawhi, so he probably won't be sitting or will be sitting for the entirety of next season. How would you feel about the Kings potentially making that all-in move for Paul George?
No.
Just not the right guy?
Yeah, no. I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe like prime Paul George.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the kind of defender you're looking at.
Right.
Like an excellent defender.
Right.
A guy who can go get you 40,
Mm-hmm.
really good shooter. Like I get the thought process, but all-in move is Keegan.
Right.
It's Davion Mitchell.
Multiple picks.
It's maybe something else. It's multiple picks. And I like the big three of De'Aaron with Paul George and Domas. It's great.
Right.
But I don't think I'm making that all-in bet on this version of Paul George.
Right. And I think Jaylen Brown is probably just a younger, more sellable version of Paul. Like, I think ideally you would want to get somebody, I bring up Jaylen Brown probably because you would want somebody more in their age timeline as well.
I think you're going to hear Jaylen Brown's name a lot over the next couple of years.
Right.
He's a free agent after next season.
Mm-hmm.
And, man, if he hits free agency.
It almost fits too perfectly with this Kings team, too.
Yeah.
Where it's like that's the clear and obvious spot that they're missing. Jaylen provides defense.
I want to say, I do want to make this clear. Jaylen Brown would fit on like every team.
Every team.
He's very good. But for the Kings, this takes away a little bit or goes a little bit against the expectations talk we were having.
Yeah.
But I think when you talk about this team making a big move, it's through the lens of this makes them a title contender.
Right. Exactly.
And I don't think they need to force that necessarily.
No.
They don't need to go say, hey, let's package all of our assets and go get Karl Anthony Towns or Paul George. I don't think that's the kind of move that needs to happen. This year, I think it's moves on the margins. If you can upgrade over Harrison Barnes, great. But if a guy like Jaylen Brown becomes available, now you're going, hey, this takes them from the, knocking on that door to busting through that door.
Right.
Where if they sign Jaylen Brown in the 2024 offseason, going into 24-25, it's like, hey, the Kings are the favorite in the West.
Yes.
That's what that kind of move does.
Right.
But I just don't think from a Paul George standpoint, I think the name's really interesting.
Yeah. It's a name I've heard that I say it because I've heard it floated around countless times.
Yeah. And that's really interesting. And, you go, hey, a healthy Paul George with De'Aaron Fox and Domas. Like, oh, man.
Could be cheaper also because of that age that you're kind of pointing to as well. And
it's
Clippers might really want to move on.
And and if you can get him for like
a
few picks,
first round picks. Yeah.
Great. But I'm not moving off Keegan.
I agree. I can't believe I'm at that point, but I agree. I did not think I would be this high on Keegan's overall value.
32, 33?
Yeah, I would say 30. Yeah, he's probably one of those guys who's older than you would even think. I wouldn't be surprised if he's 34, but if I had to guess, Paul George is probably 32 going on 33. Has had, a checkered history of injuries.
He turned 33 2 days ago.
Wow, look at that.
Celebrity birthdays.
Look at that.
Wait, didn't we did that on celebrity birthdays?
Did we?
Yeah, we sure did. Whoops.
Well, I think it'd be interesting because I mean, where that also stems from is it's always nice to say the Kings need to get an improvement out of the Harrison Barnes spot, but the practicality of that, turning that into a real practice is a lot harder than it looks. I mean, especially come free agency, like people aren't just letting go of their in prime 6'8", 6'7" shooters who can also defend, who can also put the ball on the floor. Those guys are a dime a dozen already, and they're definitely not just available.
Right. Man,
and so it's like, where do you go?
The Paul George thing is super intriguing.
Yeah.
He's averaged about 24 points the last 3 years. He's a 37-ish percent three-point shooter, 38% for his career.
Capable, very capable.
But the thing that sticks out to me, and this is I think what's my biggest hang-up, is 54 games played in 2021. 21-22, 31 games.
Right.
This season, 56 games.
Oh, that's so
not
tough.
available in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's
True.
where
Right.
that's where I have a very serious issue.
Why would that get better with age?
Right. Yeah. And if you're making that all-in move, again, if the Celtics say, hey, Jaylen Brown's on the trading block, we're not re-signing him, we want to get something for him, now I'm listening. Now I'm like, okay, I'll put Keegan on the table.
Have to.
Because that is a franchise-altering move. I don't think Paul George is a franchise-altering move.
Yeah, and that kind of also is a little bit more win now also. Because like you're saying, with his
Monty
age,
said he's not going to do win now stuff.
Don't want to do win now stuff. How do you build for tomorrow, not today? Paul George probably isn't building for tomorrow. That also kind of, again, goes into the timeline of De'Aaron's 25, Domas 27.
I have two things clanging around in my head right now. One is the fact that I've just never really been in on Paul George. He was really good in the early 2010s when those Pacers teams were going toe-to-toe with LeBron.
Right.
Very good player. I don't want to.
The OKC season, one of my favorite seasons a small forward's had in a long time.
He, in 17-18, he had 28, had 2.2 steals. Jeez.
Yeah, he was on another level that season.
But he also just recently on, I think was it JJ Redick's podcast that he said he's recognized that he's not going to be the one on a title team now.
Oof.
And so he's figuring out how to take that step back and play alongside
That's
players.
interesting. Yeah.
That is very self-aware. Shout out to Paul George for that. I'm just kind of out on him as a player.
Yeah.
The other thing that bounces around in my head is they make this huge move for Paul George. And then it doesn't work. And we're sitting here in 2027. And right now, when I look at the Kings trajectory, I'm like, man, 2027, things shake out right. We could be talking about a team that's a favorite in the West or among the favorites in the West.
Right.
if they make a move for like Paul George, the thing I can't shake is we're sitting here in 2027 going, God, can you imagine where they'd be if they just hadn't traded Paul George?
Yeah.
That Paul George, they were so close to not Kangsing it, and then they Kangsed it.
Yeah.
That's what that conversation that we had so many times throughout the years for different reasons on various, it's just like that's playing back over and over in my head. If he was 26 or 27, but he's 32 and not getting healthy.
Yeah, and then I mean, and I completely agree with you, and I think Monty's words yesterday are, very much in your response right there of, he's trying to build team that fits with this group of guys, and it's just like Jaylen Brown's really the biggest name out there that I can think of where it is that guy who is ready to be a star on a team and take a team to another level and not be, over their 30s. There is definitely a shift happening right now, and you can kind of see it in the NBA where it's like the last leg of LeBron and Steph, and you were kind of in KD as well. We're kind of moving into this Booker, Ja, Giannis, maybe Luka dominated era. It'll be interesting to see what guys pop up. Frankie brought up Kyle Kuzma. Maybe he's a guy who has been in the light, and you look at his numbers and you're like, those numbers look star quality. Maybe he takes another jump. He's 25, 26, 27. I can't remember, in that age range. So those are the guys that I think the Kings should look at, but I'm curious if they do want to legitimately start contending at some point here soon. Who's that guy? Is it I thought Jimmy Butler, before he destroyed Milwaukee, would have been a perfect kind of guy that maybe would have been available. Obviously, he's probably not going anywhere anytime soon, but who are those guys that you can realistically move on from HB from and be better? Who is a guy who, and those guys, again, like, I don't know if we have answers, but
Scooter916 in the YouTube chat. And if you're watching there, remember, hit that like button. It's a little thumb right below the video. Trying to beat the morning show. They had 87. We're trying to get to 88. We're so minimum.
Close.
Scooter916 said, this sucks because any all-in move likely takes Keegan to do it, and I really don't like it.
Yeah.
And then Smurfy Tunes, it's a great name.
Wow.
Love to have some improvements, but hopefully not give up any key players. That's where the Kings are at right now. So there's this like, so there's like a beginning. I'm going to try and do this way. So there's like the beginning, right? Where you're seeing what you've got. I think the Kings are still there.
Yes.
Monty said they've completed step 1. It's on to step 2. But eventually you reach this point where you have to take a little bit of a gamble. I still want to see what they're going to get out of Keegan. That's why I'm not moving on from him. Like I said, unless the Celtics call and say, hey, Jaylen Brown's available.
Right.
But the number of players who are going to be available that I'm putting Keegan on the table for is very small. Because you still, like, you love the upside still. But at some point, there's this like middle ground where, okay, this player is improving. Are they going to improve more? Like, they have to be enticing enough that another team wants to trade for him.
Right.
But not so enticing that you're like,
it's going to break your back.
I can't part with them. And that's the like, it's very tough to operate in that space.
No, what you're describing right now is what Phoenix went through with Mikal Bridges. And we're seeing the bad side of it, where it's like Mikal for a long time was like, they were like, we can't, like, he's a good piece. We don't want to move on from him. And then the second Matt Ishbia stepped in, he was like, guys, we're talking about getting Kevin Durant here.
Right.
We can move on from anybody. And I caution people, again, like, Keegan's great. Where he's moving right now is great. But you don't have to look too far away to see that Monty McNair is not afraid to trade these prized possession rookies. And, look at Tyrese Halliburton. It does not get more liked than Tyrese Halliburton. Everybody thought Tyrese Halliburton was on a straight train to start him.
Let's pause this. I really like this conversation. Let's pick it up on the other side. It's Sactown Sports 1140.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Your forecast looking and feeling a lot like yesterday. Well, periods of on and off again showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon, and highs top out in the mid-50s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
At Valley Strong Credit Union, we know that local businesses are the backbone of the Central Valley. Valley businesses deserve Valley support for payroll, credit, capital, and everything in between. Learn about all the benefits of being a business banking member at valleystrong.com.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program, with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
Planning to go solar? Go Solara. Solara Home Energy is your local go-to expert for premium solar, home battery, EV charging, and backup generators. With utility rates spiking and summer right around the corner, now is the time to start producing your own energy and safeguard your home against impending power outages. Already have solar? Add a home battery to improve your solar savings and provide peace of mind. For expert solar designs that achieve peak performance and look great on your home, choose Solara Home Energy. Visit us online at gosolara.com. GoSolara.com. Let's change this to that by properly disposing of litter, picking up after our pets, reducing pesticide use, and regularly servicing your vehicle. Learn how to protect our waterways at BeRiverFriendly.net.
The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop garage sale of nearly new showroom clubs is on right now. With discounts up to 75%, you'll find full sets of irons, metalwoods, wedges, and more at the Hagen Oaks garage sale featuring $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory. This kind of opportunity is rare and available right now. Visit the Hagen Oaks garage sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Ladd with your Sactown Sports Headlines. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and it is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. The Warriors will try and tie up the series at 1 game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. The Oakland A's will try and avoid the sweep against the Seattle Mariners today. Drew Rusnitsky gets the ball A's start in about 5 minutes from right now. Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 executive of the year, Monty McNair, joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can watch the entire interview on SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madsen.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Kyle Madsen hanging out with you today. Hanging out with Chris. I'm the company.
Mm-hmm.
Streaming live on YouTube, as always, at youtube.com/SactownSports1140. Hit that like button if you're in there right now. Everybody who is in there, the chat's popping. We appreciate you guys. Having a really fun Kings conversation today.
I know. Who would have thought that, like, even a week after the season's over, we can still...
It's so nice, though, that the offseason talk is like, hey, what are the small ways they can get better?
Right. Instead of, okay, draft time.
Yeah.
Let's go into top 3 prospects, and let's look at Scoot Henderson's G League tapes and Wembanyama's. Maybe the Kings have a... Oh, man, could you imagine, actually, the conversations of the Kings have a 2.5% chance of getting Wembanyama, and we have to still talk about it as a possibility.
If this was a Kings season from any of the past like 15, 16 years, we 100% would have had like a Eurobasket journalist on.
Absolutely. Probably once a week.
Yeah.
To
all the different, anybody who has any association with Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah. It would be great too, because we can ask him about Sasha too. Like it would write itself. It would literally write itself. It would be.
Should we get a Eurobasket guy to talk about Sasha?
Maybe in a couple weeks. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great.
Definitely.
I love that.
We had an article written about us. We can say like we're those guys like that broke on our show.
Sean Cunningham.
We gave him the vehicle though. You know, come on. We take some responsibility. It's a team effort. Sean could have said that anywhere. He decided to come on this program right here and break.
But it's not even like, I don't even think we asked about.
No, he just threw it. No, he just
brought
threw
it
it
up
out there.
independently.
Yeah,
that's so funny. Russell in the chat says, "Guys, smash the like button. We got to humiliate Dave." That's a great point.
Oh my God, have we not even brought that point up?
That's a great point.
Yeah,
they got to 87 likes on the morning show.
Dave would he would definitely hate it.
He would cry.
He would cry.
And when Dave cries, it's hilarious.
When Dave cries, an angel gets its wings.
Mm-hmm. This is what it sounds like when a Dave cries. Hey now, come on, Prince reference.
That's really good. You like
Thoughts
Prince?
on Prince?
Prince is my father's favorite musical artist of all time. I like Prince. Prince is
have to.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Dove's
fair.
Cry is his favorite song. So
it's a very
that's
good
his
deal.
favorite.
That is his favorite song, which I also didn't realize how interesting of a choice that was until later in my life when I heard more Prince songs, and I was like, "It's a lot of good ones." Dove's Cry is a great one, but like, it's a lot of other good ones out there.
Yeah, it's a lot of very good.
Prince underrated.
Hey, did you? Hey, real quick, we've been talking Kings all day. There's a ton of other stuff I want to get into.
Mm-hmm.
Did you, by any chance, see the Wander Franco play that went viral? His shortstop for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, dude, it was sick. Where he like kind of tossed it in the air and then grabbed it. Yeah.
If you missed it, he fields a ground ball, and then instead of like double clutching, tosses the ball in the air like to himself, like not super high, but you know, like when you're tossing a ball up in the air to yourself. He just does that with a little bit of spin, grabs it, and then throws it.
Yeah.
He turned a routine play into something worth watching.
Right.
Because how many times there's a 3-hopper to short, scooped up by Franco. He steps, he throws it across in time, and there's 2 away. That play happens. And baseball's trying to figure out a way to get more exciting.
Right.
That didn't require a rule change.
Nope. No, it did
Excuse
not.
me, that was weird.
You're good.
That didn't require a rule change.
Nope.
That didn't require him to show up an opponent.
Right.
He's not doing anything to anyone. He just did a cool little ball flip in his hand. And if the runner beats it or if he throws it away, then he looks dumb. That's the punishment.
You gave a perfect example in the pre-show. He windmill dunked. Like he had a transition breakaway, and instead of just laying it up or, putting a simple little 2-hand dunk, decided to do a windmill, decided to go between the legs. And he played the risk of, if he missed it, the punishment is you look really stupid for making a routine play not routine.
Right.
And that's the punishment that he gets if it didn't work. But since it did work, It's a great play. It's a cool play. Like you said, he didn't show anybody up. He just put himself at risk for humiliation.
Right.
That's it.
Well, also making a routine play look pretty cool.
Why is that bad? That's only a
MLB
problem in
got a
baseball.
viral highlight out of a 6'3" putout.
Right.
That is the ideal
so
for a
true.
sport that
that
is looking to
Lacking
try and gain
highlights.
the popular or not popular. What's the word I'm looking for? Younger audience.
Yes. Yeah.
Gain popularity with the younger audience. The amount of people that just were like, I like Wander Franco, but there's
Old
just,
baseball heads
there's just no place for this.
must have lost their minds. They must have lost their minds.
It genuinely wasn't as bad as I was anticipating, but the fact that there are still people that see that, that harmless play, that if you weren't watching close, you may not have even noticed.
Right. That's another thing too. Right. It was so small.
People sitting like in the bleachers,
no idea.
Didn't see it. They might have thought he bobbled it or something, but it looks cool in slow motion.
Looked effortless. Like he does it all the time. I'm sure he does do it all the time.
I thought it was cool.
I'm in on it. I'm in on making routine baseball plays look cool. If there were, the Savannah Bananas, I'm down for the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball. Absolutely.
Baseball is my very favorite sport.
Yeah.
But the culture around it, just
toxic.
The culture of baseball in the US needs to change a lot, I think.
Right. That's also a great point too, because it's not this way anywhere else.
Yeah. And it is like you start to see it, but it's like, man, I just
they're
wish
just more
that
free, right?
I wish that any time something that was even a little bit deviated, a little bit fun, like, dude, let the players have fun.
Right.
Let the players be famous.
Right.
It's okay. It's going to be all right.
Totally fine.
Other sports have thrived with that environment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Do you think it's more disrespectful than a bat flip? If you had to rank it, I mean, it was so cool. Like, I mean, bat flips are awesome too. I'm more just saying, what do you think gets these?
Oh, the bat flip for sure, because that's an active, like,
disrespect.
I just hit the
quote
ball,
unquote disrespect.
Right. I just hit the ball a million miles off this pitcher.
Right.
I'm going to bat flip, and it's
pimp
showing
this
that guy
thing.
up a little bit. Like, I get that, but also that pitcher is going to get you out way more times than you're going to hit one 450 feet off.
True. Right.
So, like, and I'm also for, I don't want to turn this into a whole thing, but I'm also for when the pitcher gets a big strikeout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pump
Scream.
your fist.
Yeah.
Flex, scream, do whatever.
Totally.
I'm just in on all this.
Make baseball fun.
Dude,
it's just baseball is, in my opinion, the funnest sport to be like a professional athlete in terms of like playing the actual, like playing baseball is so fun. Yeah. It's so fun. Why do you need to make it vanilla and routine? Yeah. Like,
especially when there's 162 games. It's just something a little different. It's fine.
Just one throw.
Yeah.
He didn't do it all game. It's not his thing.
Right.
It was
just one time. They'll like, oh, hey, that was fun. Yeah.
It was from second to first too. It was a shorter throw. It's not like it was, from third to first, right? Like, it was a simple, easy. Again, it was a simple, easy throw, routine play. They just added a little flair, a little swag. It was cool.
I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too.
Speaking of baseball, the A's lost again last night.
No way.
Yeah, dude. They're now 6-24. 6-25. 6-25. They were up 2-0. The Mariners tied it with a run in the ninth. They made it 2-2. I think they got a run in the seventh as well.
I'm looking at it. Yep, got a run in the seventh and run in the ninth.
And then the A's gave up 5 runs in the 10th.
Yeah. Not often do you see a 10-inning game end with a 5-run differential.
Right. They gave up more runs in the 10th inning than they've scored the last 2 games. They scored 4.
There's no way.
I'm sorry, 3 runs the last 2 games. They gave up 5 in the 10th inning.
Oh my gosh!
Like, it's just, man. I don't want to complain. I'm not going to sit here and complain about John Fisher. We could do that every single day.
Yeah.
What do? I'm an A's fan. What do I do here?
Dude, it's an impossible situation.
Do I root for them to lose and just be like, hey, if you're going to be bad, at least be the worst team ever?
You can't you can't do that. Not as a fan. You cannot as an actual fan of the team. It's not basketball. It's not like you tank and then you get Victor Wembanyama, and he will be great for you next year. There's not, like, baseball, especially even in the top picks, there's no guarantee that they'll help you for 3, 4, 5 years at all.
Right.
There's not really much.
The draft is a crapshoot in every sport, but in baseball, it's really
no clue.
There's no have some good news for you.
Oh,
They are not losing right now.
Oh, what's the score now?
They're not winning either.
0-0.
Oh, come on, boys.
Let's go.
Love that.
Bottom of the first.
Yeah.
Come on. Not losing.
A's are going to petition for draws next year. They're going to bring draws into baseball.
No, I don't know how to operate as a fan. Like, I've been through bad teams. I've been a fan with the Warriors when they've been bad. I've been a fan with the Niners when they've been bad. I've been a fan with the A's when they've been bad plenty. But this is like a new level. This is like
relocation's not fun. I mean, and that's just almost
right. That's the other aspect.
Nailing it down. Well, that's where it's like, do you show up to the games? Right. Like, how do you show support for the team without showing support for the organization? If that makes sense. Or
you have homies that work for the organization that get you tickets for free.
There you go. That's the point, because you don't give them money. I mean, it's just an impossible situation to navigate.
Yeah.
For everything that you said, like, you don't want to root for them to lose.
Yeah.
You don't want to. This could be one of the last times you're able to watch these guys in Oakland.
Yeah.
So you want to go to the game, but you also don't want to give money to John Fisher.
Right. We're gonna continue navigating this throughout baseball season, because if whenever we do this show, this is going to be an issue for me. So let's look at the only playoff game tonight, Warriors-Lakers. I think the Warriors, the adjustment they need to make is to bring back some old school basketball. And I'll tell you why on the other side. That's Chris and Kyle. We're on Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Cattles and Rami.
Did Kelly get weirded out by how into games you get? Because my girlfriend she's getting used to it. When I'm like, oh, that's not a foul. Yeah, that's okay. I guess that's not a foul. Yeah, all right. I got to work on things. My language is pretty bad when watching games. Gotta work on that.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines, such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com. or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Aldridge,
what you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoop 9-dance saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340, and Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton and Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton and Price in your corner. When you call Ashton and Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real live person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price. Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for free personalized arch support, fitting, and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville. Online at goodfeet.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. Aim Your Digital.
YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Hit that like button if you're there.
We're so close.
We want to beat the morning show. They had 87 likes today. We're at 80 right now. If you're in the chat and you've not hit like, go ahead and do that right now. Or not even if you're in the chat. You don't have to be in the chat. You can just be watching.
You can just be sitting there, hearing our voices, hearing those commercials.
Talking Kings' future today, Kings' expectations moving forward. If you want to participate, 339-1140. That's a text line. That's also the phone line. You can give us a call at that number or 1-800-920-1140. I had a microwave delivered today. My microwave just went out.
Wait, delivered?
Yeah.
How big is your microwave? You can't just buy one at the store? Like a
Uber Eats delivers more than food, Chris.
Yeah, man. They're like, sorry about your cold food. Here's a microwave.
Yeah, here's a microwave.
Nah, so our microwave just went out. A brand new microwave when we bought our house. Brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an over the stove microwave.
One that you have to like install. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
We had a guy come out from the company that our microwave belongs to see about fixing it. I turn on the microwave for him, and he just like puts his ear out like he's listening, and he goes, "Oh yeah, the magnetic reactor carburetor, whatever it was. Whatever this thing is out." He's like, "It's X amount to fix, but you can buy a new microwave for Y amount.
Right?
It's not that much more." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. What about installing it?" He goes, "Installing it's easy. All you have to do is unplug it, unscrew the screws in the top.
Sure.
You pull it down, you put the new one in there, screw the top in, and you're good to go."
Sounds simple enough.
It's like, great. I look on we have one of those doorbells that has a video on it.
Yeah, Ring. Yeah.
And I got the alert that they were there. There are two humans carrying this, like
it's a fridge or something.
This thing in to the house. Like, I'm supposed to just be up to let me hold it up there and screw it in. I have no idea what I'm going to do about installing this microwave, but I'm not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I might call the guy back from the company and be like, "Hey, bro,
might need to pay for some installation."
Like, he hooked me up with the whole
consultation.
Because he didn't really do anything,
right?
So he didn't he canceled his visit,
right?
Shout out to that guy.
I'm
about to bring him back. Be like, let me just Venmo you on the side, dog. I got some beer in my fridge.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
I'll
key.
hit you with the Venmo.
Yep.
You like pizza? We can do that.
Yep.
I'm guessing it doesn't take long. It's probably just laborious trying to get it up.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, and you have to have 3 people too, because someone's got to hold, someone's got to screw, and then someone's got to be watching to make sure that is lined up.
Yeah, well, it's not like there's one place for it to
perfectly.
Go. Right.
I don't know, lopsided. Never know.
Yeah, so you got to. I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it.
No.
There's a lot of housing projects, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
Get on YouTube. I've learned how to do so much stuff on YouTube
for everything.
But I'm not looking forward to installing this microwave.
No.
I'm going to hurt myself.
I feel like they should have offered to. Did they offer to install and you just?
Yeah. So here was the deal. Like the reason we ordered it is because when you ordered online from the company that we ordered from, you got $200 off this microwave. Oh, it's like awesome
for sure.
So my wife goes, "Hey, $200 off. Let's see about installation. Installation, $200.
Okay.
Like, all right.
Okay.
Well, never mind then. We'll just figure it out.
Do that. Yeah.
I got friends.
Mm-hmm.
Just get more bodies over there.
Right. Like you said, beer, pizza.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'm just not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
There's a strong chance that microwave is in the box like through next week.
I was going to say, there's nothing wrong with a microwave just sitting on the counter either.
There is when you have the lack of counter space we have.
Yeah.
I don't have a ton of counter space.
Gotcha.
Hey, all right. Scooter 916 pulling up in the chat saying it's not that heavy. It has a bracket that goes on the wall. The microwave hooks onto that, and you swing it up into the cabinet. It weighs maybe 20 pounds. All right.
Okay.
I don't know if he feel a lot better about this.
It sounds like he saw your microwave, though. I mean, like
he delivered it.
Yeah. Huh?
That would be incredible.
That would be crazy.
Hey, I have a story for we can do this later.
Story time with Kyle.
We can do this later. I'm gonna wait for Rami because it happened outside of a comedy club.
Oh, okay.
But I have a story about a listener coming through big time.
Really?
Yeah, I'll have that for you later. But Pascal Siakam's name.
Clutch.
We've been talking about players the Kings could add that would really move the needle, and would you do it? Would you not? Pascal Siakam's name just came up in the chat, as did another name that I find much less intriguing. We'll talk about those two on the other side, and whether they'd help the Kings or how much they would help the Kings. Kyle, it's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Handoff McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
On your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Attorney Joe Cordell. Business owners and professionals face special challenges in divorce court. In addition to everything else going on, they have to contend with allegations that they are earning more than they are, coupled with claims on their business or practice itself. Clients with assets depend on their divorce lawyer's skills in these matters, and that's why it's so important to hire someone that has those skills.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. CordellCordell.com.
Spring clearance event. Thursday through Saturday, enjoy clearance savings on scratch and dent, one-of-a-kind, display models, and discontinued items. Shop the large clearance centers inside all RC Willey locations for savings up to 40% on appliances and save up to 70% on sofas, sectionals, dining, and bedroom sets. Shop early because clearance deals will go quickly. Bring your trucks and trailers, deliveries not available. Don't miss the spring clearance event inside RC Willey.
The newest, most exciting race cars are coming to WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca May 12th through 14th for the Motul Course de Monterey, powered by Hyundai. North America's premier sports car series brings intense wheel-to-wheel racing. And there's plenty of family fun too, including go-karts, a Ferris wheel, and a kids zone. Get your tickets now by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. Enjoy Mother's Day weekend May 12th through 14th in beautiful Monterey.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
A car buying, that's electrifying. Yes, a great ride and go. You'll be smiling, help grow. Get your motor in, open road in, whip down, turn it into a highway. The Elk Grove Kia peace of mind guarantee is a 20-year or 200K warranty. No hassle, no worry. You bet you'll ask anybody who can turn your highway into a smileway.
Spring is here, and Elk Grove Kia has some incredible offers, like the all-new all-electric EV6 for just $549 plus tax. What about the sporty Niro EV all-electric, just $397 plus tax? Worried about credit? Don't! Elk Grove Kia's team has over 100 years of combined finance experience. Bad credit? No problem. Elk Grove Kia says yes when others say no. Both payments are examples of 36 monthly leases, $3,999 customer cash, signing plus DMV registration and taxes, 10K per year, 20 cents per mile, order subject to Kia finance approval, 720 plus FICO score to qualify. Offer expires 4/30/2023. One with Spain, CD6, GK8609, Euro EV, GK8598.
Elk Grove Kia.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlad with your Sactown Sports headlines. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and it is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. The Warriors will try and tie up the series at one game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. The Oakland A's are trying to avoid the sweep today against the Seattle Mariners, and currently in the bottom of the second, the A's lead 1-0. How about that, Kyle?
Woo!
Earlier
Raise
today,
the banner.
Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can watch the entire interview on SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madsen.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Too shy. We're too shy of the morning show in likes. We're at 86.
We got an hour left. We can definitely smash that. And hopefully we can break yesterday's.
Let's get to 90 by the break. And then we'll focus on beating yesterday's total 106.
Yep.
Hit that like button right under the video if you're watching on YouTube at youtube.com/SactownSports1140. That's not going to subscribe you. It's not going to make you send emails. It's not going to, you just hit the like button. That's it. It's like a tweet or a Facebook post.
Yep.
Hit that like.
It's like a
We
poke.
appreciate it.
Remember Facebook
Oh
pokes?
boy, do I. I had
What
somebody
is the
get legit.
point?
I don't know, but I had someone legit get mad at me because I did not poke them back.
Dude, God, that just sent PTSD. People did used to get really upset, and it's like,
poke
I didn't check my pokes. Like who used to legit, and then there'd be poke wars, or be, oh, I poke you, and then we're on like a 200-day poke streak, and it's like, all right, I don't know, weird times.
Big argument happening about Pascal Siakam in the chat right now. Speaking of YouTube, big argument. We were talking about like game-changing players for the King.
Yeah.
Needle movers.
Yeah. Talked about a different Raptor.
Phrase du jour. Right.
Ooh.
OG Anunoby is a player who came up.
Mm-hmm.
Pascal Siakam turns 30 this year. That's one thing I want to put out there. Yeah, he turned. Oh, I'm sorry. He turns 30 in April of next year. So late next season, he'll be 30. He's a career 32% 3-point shooter. Not going to knock him down from out there, but an excellent defender. A lot of versatility. He can handle the ball a little bit.
He is a 4.
Points.
He is like a power forward.
Right. Very traditional style power forward.
Yeah.
He can, like, if he's pulling up from 3 and he's open, okay, but he's not like a 3-point shooter. 24 points, 8 boards, 6 assists this last season. Are you putting Keegan on the table for him?
No, I've never been a Pascal. I like Pascal the player, but
he was awesome in the 2019 finals.
Yes, he was. He was incredible, and what was definitely a Robin to Kawhi's Batman, but he was very much a passable second best guy on a title team. I've just never really like his fit doesn't feel right. Like him and Sabonis don't feel like a front court that really plays off of each other. I've never really liked the fit. Like I said, I like the individual player. I think, for the right team, he could be the right piece, but for this team, it doesn't feel like it's worth leveraging everything that it would take.
I think I buy that. And then somebody else in the chat mentioned this, and I thought this is interesting. Pascal Siakam feels like a guy who hit his ceiling. We know what Pascal Siakam is. And in 18-19, that year they won the title. That was with Kawhi. He was 17.7 boards, 3 assists. He shot 54.9% from the field and 36.9% from 3. On good volume, 12 field goal attempts, 3 3-point attempts. It was like, okay, and this is a 24-year-old Pascal Siakam. This guy is going to continue growing. There's this really high ceiling for him. Holy smokes. Then Kawhi left, and it's like, that's okay because they have Pascal Siakam. And the next year, he went up to 23 points, but his field goal percentage came down significantly. His 3-point percentage dropped. He took 6 threes a game the next year. He shot 35.9%, which is okay. Like, you would take that. But then the year after that, 29.7, 34.4, 32.4. He's just not that outside game that it looked like he was really going to develop and turn into this really all-around dominant player. Just hasn't quite been there. So I'm with you. I think will Keegan ever be better than Pascal Siakam?
I'm going to say no.
Not
Pascal's been a guy who's really 2-time All-NBA, third team. Like that's a top 15 player in the NBA.
Yeah, but I think you're right. For the fit on this team, Pascal Siakam's not doing dribble handoffs.
No.
He's a very good defender, though. If you're looking for defense.
Yeah. But he's not necessarily a rim protect. He's a good individual defender. He can switch on to a lot of different guys, but he's not Kawhi Leonard out there.
If the price is Davion, Keegan Murray, and some picks. And you're gonna have to tweak that, but if that's kind of the crux of the deal, Pascal, OG, or Paul George.
Man, that's tough. I want to say Paul George, but the age thing and the health are really deterring me from saying it.
I'm taking OG.
It just doesn't. I think OG is the right one just because the age and best fit, but I don't love it. Again, like I would take that package to just about everyone and try and see what you can get. I don't know if you'll be able to get. It feels like there's just a hard cap on the caliber of player you can get for Keegan Murray.
It feels like all of those players are like, it's a little bit of an overpay.
Yeah.
And how much better does it make them over the next 3-4 years?
Right.
And they're just not in the place yet where I'm like, yeah, you know what? Make that move. The 49ers, for example, I'm going to go cross sport here.
Sure.
When the 49ers traded for Christian McCaffrey, it was like, holy smokes, like a 2, 3, a 4, and a future 5 or whatever. It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
But
what you're getting
for this 49ers team, look at what he's going to provide their offense.
Right.
An offense that doesn't have an elite quarterback, so they need all the playmakers they can get.
Right.
That fits.
Christian McCaffrey is that guy.
If the Rams had made that same move, it's like, what do you do? And they were in the running for it. It would have been like, that's just that's not.
It's not what
okay.
you need,
it's a step up in the same tier of team that you are.
Right.
Like you're going from a 47% F to a 51% F.
Right.
Like it's still
an
bad.
F.
Right. So
it doesn't change your calculus.
And for the Kings, they're obviously not an F right now, but they're, let's call them a B.
Yeah.
You're not getting to an A.
Yes.
I don't think with
any of those guys, I would say.
With what you're giving away and then what you're giving.
I think you become a plus, but you don't necessarily, like you're saying, to use that same metaphor, I don't think you turn to another level. You don't go up
and on paper, it looks great. Sabonis, Siakam, Fox.
Right.
Maybe at that point, you're re-signing Harrison Barnes. Malik Monk coming off the bench.
Right.
Starts to be like, okay, I see where this works.
But that's also, you're kind of pointing at there, you got to sacrifice some depth.
Yes.
Too. And that's where it's like that guy that you're trading for has to be worth also. I mean, we're seeing it with Phoenix right now. They got rid of Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges to get Kevin Durant. But at the expense of getting KD, they got that star piece. They just don't have it on but now they're relying on campaign to have to be good.
And a lot of Damian Lee and
a lot of Damian Lee,
of Torrey Craig,
I mean, you know, Jock Lawndale, Josh Okogie, a lot of those guys that you're now relying on because you had to give up so much, and the financial cost as well. How that hamstrings you when you bring in Pascal Siakam, who makes, you know, he's making $33 million, and
he turns 30 next season.
Right. You can't. It makes it a lot harder to build an entire team around guys. And I think that's a key for this Kings team is, especially at the moment, like De'Aaron's incredible. We hope he takes the next step up. Is he so incredible that he can elevate a team? He's a guaranteed 45, 50 wins just by him being on your roster. I'm going to say no, but that's also not to disparage De'Aaron Fox. Like there's only a couple guys in the league that you can say him being on your team guarantees you X amount of wins.
Yes.
You know, Steph Curry is one of those guys. He was out for a lot of this year, which is why Golden State didn't reach that win total. But Giannis is one of those guys. You would think Luka is one of those guys. We saw that.
I'm out on Luka.
You need a team.
We've had
the
that
bigger
discussion.
point is you need to, yes, be able to acquire that star, but not at the expense of the entire team around it.
Having a formula of being able to roll out like 3 stars and then having a bench that is going to go win the bench minutes as well is like, that's the formula, right?
Yes.
That's so hard to find, but that
really
bench depth, look at Golden State against the Kings.
Right.
Whenever Steph Curry went to the bench, and granted he's a singular force, but when the Kings bench is just better than Golden State.
Right.
Like top to bottom.
Yep.
And if Steph Curry's 20% worse, the Kings win that series.
Yeah.
It's something the Lakers, I think, are eventually going to run into. Like their depth is just not great.
Right.
And when you're leaning on 2 players singularly, it gets really, really hard to win.
Yeah.
So I think that's, I understand the want and like the excitement of
to go get that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Go get but I still think Davion is he's in that range of what's his value to another team.
Right.
And if another team is just really high on him and wants to give you an asset back, then maybe you consider it. But I'm still waiting on Keegan.
I agree.
I believe that there's a level to Keegan's game where he can be like a Klay Thompson type in this way, in this way of he's a starter and he's obviously a very good starter. He's going to run with the starters, but also like if he's on the floor with the bench unit and the bench unit has a legit distributor as a point guard, you can keep him out there as well. And he can just lead that unit. I think that's where Keegan Murray's headed. And I think there's more defensive versatility. Monty talked about that a lot yesterday.
Right.
There's going to be some learning and growth for him.
Yeah.
But I'm willing to bet on that growth happening.
Yeah. And especially when you consider value as well, I just think it makes a lot of sense to continue to bet on Keegan's growth and development at the price point that he's going to be at instead of, again, banking in or cashing in on that and throwing all of that money towards somebody and hamstringing your entire roster.
Let's bring Jaylen Brown back into the conversation here. If you go in for Pascal Siakam right now, OG Anunoby and you're paying him or whatever, you're out of like that's probably what you're looking at moving forward. Like that's your core because then you got to pay Domas.
Exactly.
You're gonna have to pay De'Aaron again. So that's your core.
Unless you move on from one of those guys, like you are trading, then Sabonis' contract is up. But
I don't think they're going.
No.
So that's why I think they're going to maybe look free agency before they look massive trade. That's my thought.
That to me feels
the
like
right move.
Yeah, I think that's probably how they attack this offseason. Again, moving forward, depending on how next season goes, maybe that's when these conversations ramp up a little and become a little bit more serious. But right now, I just don't think I don't think trading for a big star is where the Kings need to be. I think it's clear long term that is something that they need to address, but it doesn't have to be going into next season.
I understand the want to like, hey, they're in the playoffs, let's go for it now.
Right.
I don't think that's the right move. I don't think that's what Monty McNair and the front office are looking at. I think it's going to be a relatively quiet offseason if you're expecting a massive trade from the Kings. Hey, I said that the Dubs are going to have to go old school basketball to win tonight.
Yeah.
Let's talk some playoffs on the other side.
Let's do it.
Chris Kyle, it's Chris and Company, Sactown Sports, 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
This is fun.
This here radio show?
Yeah, but like talking about the Kings offseason in a way that's not like, don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
Hope they draft a star.
Right. It's a lot easier to talk.
What do you do with Willie Cauley-Stein?
Oh, jeez. Still trying to figure that one out.
Like, it's legitimately like, what do you do with Harrison Barnes?
Right.
Like, that's a contributing player who they now have to figure out. It would have used to be like, yeah, max him out. Like, just,
right. Yeah,
got to bring him back.
Got to keep him. Got to keep him for the sake of keeping him, or else we're going to get worse.
Or the opposite of no chance he's coming back. No chance he wants to come back.
Right.
Like, not that they're not resigning, but
he
would have been like,
he's too good for us. Yeah.
Right. So
it's a lot nicer to be talking about pieces to add to become a title contender instead of pieces, someone who can possibly maybe take us to the playoffs, who would also
just being lost in the woods and trying to find a North Star.
Right. Got a couple now.
Star.
Got a couple.
They do.
Couple guys.
They have all stars.
All of them. And two of them.
Two of them.
Trying to get a third, though.
Warriors-Lakers tonight, game 2. The Lakers felt like it was a weird game.
Mm-hmm.
It was close most of the way.
Yep.
But the Warriors couldn't get a look inside. They were hanging around because they were shooting threes and making threes. They took 53 of them.
It's a lot.
I think their adjustment, because they don't have an answer for Anthony Davis's length or
just Anthony Davis in general.
Davis,
Everything that he provides, they
so
don't
good.
really have any solution
He's
for it.
Unbelievable. But
except for James Wiseman. Whoops. He was supposed to be the solution for it.
Yikes.
Kings could have used James Wiseman in that series.
No, they couldn't have.
No, I mean like they could have used him on the Warriors.
Yeah,
it would have been pretty nice to get a random 15 James Wiseman minutes out there.
He is not. I don't want to give up on a 22-year-old or whatever he is.
Let me tell you.
I don't. Hey, you know what? You know what we were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
I don't think he's got that dog in him.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah, he could use a lot more dog in him.
He's not that guy.
I don't think he's that guy.
Not that guy, pal.
I don't think he's that guy. I don't think he's that guy.
And you are?
No, I think so. We talked to Jason Timpf yesterday from the Volume. That interview is on YouTube.
Yep.
I think that putting Steph on the ball is one thing. I think if you're a fan of the mid-range game,
it's a dying breed.
I think that's what the Warriors are going to have to do tonight. I think you're going to see a lot of middies.
Yeah. They should too. I mean, what Anthony Davis finished with 4 or 5 blocks in game 1.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring that up.
Yeah, he almost had a light 30, 25, and 5 game in the playoffs.
Literally
against
light
the defending champs on the road. Cool, man.
Crazy.
Cool.
Game 1 setting the tone. They clearly cannot go in the paint anymore. I mean, it's to me like you got to do floaters. You're saying mid-range game, pull up, make them step out. And then once they're out, that's when you can hit them on the backside. And, that we've seen the Warriors work that 2-man game.
Steph tried a floater and got it blocked.
He did.
He did. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think that was
no shots near the rim.
Like, this worked literally every time last series. Right. And now I can't even get it out of my hand.
Anthony Davis is unreal.
When he's locked in. When he's locked in and healthy, he's a certified problem.
Winded at the end of game 1. Yeah. He played every minute of the second half.
44 minutes in game 1.
But that's what they need. Like that's again, okay. So to take this back to the Kings, we were just talking about depth and how that is such a valuable piece of a championship team. Is like, okay, you need the star power in the NBA for sure. Star power matters.
That's number 1, right?
Number 2 is a good bench.
Yep.
A quality bench.
Yeah.
You're not going to obviously have all stars on your bench.
Right.
But guys that you feel comfortable
contributing, right? You can't go like you're saying, Steph Curry. You can't put Steph on the bench and then be like,
"Don't know
when can we put him back in?"
Got to survive these 3 minutes, right? But that's the Lakers' problem.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Davis had 30, 25, and 4, 30 points, 20 boards, 5 assists, 4 blocks.
Right.
He played 44 minutes, and they needed a Jordan Poole 30-footer to hang on for. They needed Jordan Poole to miss a 30-footer.
Right.
To not go to overtime.
Right.
I mean,
I felt really positive. I heard a lot of people feeling like this series is definitely trending towards the Lakers. I didn't feel that way at all. Kind of what you're hinting at there. I felt like Golden State was kind of in the driver's seat. And most of that game, I felt, even though the Lakers had the lead, I was like, it's one of those where Golden State's playing pretty poorly and they're only down 5, only down 6. And then they make the 14-0 run. And it's like, all right, this is a little more what I expected. And then, like you said, like they're one shot away from tying that game, going to overtime. You mentioned Anthony Davis exhausted, probably get the, whatever. You can't assume. But if the Lakers have to play Anthony Davis 44 minutes, get 30-plus points, get 20-plus rebounds out of him in order for them to compete, I just don't think there's nothing that I've seen from Anthony Davis in the past that makes me believe that he can do that for, 4 straight games, 5 straight games, 6, however long this thing is going to go. I have a tough time. Maybe he can do it 4 out of 7 times, but then that gets you the win, but you also have to get the results in all of those games. I just have a tough time seeing the Lakers stringing that together.
Where LeBron is in his career, he's going to have a
with the
really
injury
good
as well.
game.
Right.
But is he going to go for 40?
I don't think so.
So now if Anthony Davis is not on, you're banking on a
Austin
Rui
Reeves.
Hachimura game.
Yeah,
Austin Reeves,
Schroeder.
Dennis Schroeder. Like all these guys are
they can
I
do
don't
it.
want to lean on those guys.
Exactly.
So
I would much rather lean on Klay Thompson, on Andrew Wiggins, on Jordan
I felt
Poole.
like I felt this way going into Warriors or coming out of Warriors Lakers, going into game 7. I was like, feels like the winner of this game is going to win the next series. But it always felt like whoever came out of that side of the bracket was destined to lose to the winner of Denver Phoenix.
Yes. Just because I think exhaustion is going to play a factor
and
at that
Denver
point.
and Denver, just the level they're playing at right now, they look awesome. And again, because the Suns run into a depth problem.
Right.
Chris Paul goes down and it's Cam Payne and it's Josh Okogie who's scared to shoot apparently.
Yep.
And Kevin Durant did not look like Kevin Durant last game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he's old. Maybe he's tired. Maybe it's the altitude.
I was going to say that. Come these late rounds, Denver altitude is a real thing.
Man,
it's a real thing.
This feels like a Nuggets year, man.
Mm-hmm. It's really lining up for them.
They're up 2-0 going back to Phoenix, so that series isn't over.
Yeah.
But regardless of what happens in this Warriors-Lakers series, I think the Nuggets are going to have a huge advantage next round.
Yeah.
They're going to have home court.
Right.
They've just been rolling. Like, they're playing at a really high level. They're really well coached.
Yeah. And they're hungry too. I mean, we've been talking about it pretty much all day. Like, they're a team that's kind of in this window of, if you're not going to win a championship, like, something's got to change here. And these guys haven't even made it to the finals yet in their run.
They've got a final.
They've gotten to one, I believe. No, was it? Did they make it in the bubble?
Kyle Ledbetter is nodding.
Okay, I was like, Kyle would definitely know. I trust Kyle.
Him.
I believe, yeah, they made it. If I'm not mistaken, they beat Utah. Yeah.
The bubble.
Remember,
year,
the Jamal Murray versus Donovan Mitchell back and forth. They were exchanging 50-point games on a nightly basis.
Oh, that was the conference finals. Yeah. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
The bubble year was so like, that was the year the Warriors won 15 games.
Oh, yeah.
So that whole year is just
make
a
the
blur.
bubble. Yeah.
Just a blur. I know the Suns went like 7-0 and still didn't make the playoffs.
No, they didn't.
What a strange
But
season.
that started it. That started the Suns' run.
Yeah. Yeah, it sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Predictions for Lakers Warriors.
I got dubs tonight.
They're
think
-7.
Yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot.
That feels like
it's a bounce back game, you know.
That feels like one of those Vegas lines. I'm a sucker, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
When you go like, hey, how does Vegas make money?
It's you.
Me.
Yeah.
People like me.
Yeah.
Because I look at the Lakers just won game one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Warriors by 7. Give me the Lakers plus the 7.
Right.
That feels like one of those hard lines that you should lean into.
Right.
Because it feels like you shouldn't, but that's how Vegas makes it.
Exactly. Well, and I view tonight's game kind of like how we saw Boston-Philly game 2 play out, where it's like, Lakers already did the hard part. They already did their job. They already got their road win. They can now go home. They now own home court advantage. If they want to go full throttle tonight, they can try and go up 2-0.
Yeah.
But we just saw in the last year, look no further than round 1 to see that 2-0 is an end all be all.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, I think the Lakers will probably, they'll vibe it out for a quarter and a half and see. Yeah. Okay, do we have it tonight or do we not? And if they don't, then I think that they're comfortable with the Warriors getting a home win.
Talking a lot of basketball today. Let's jump into football. John Lynch, the 49ers general manager, is lying. I'll tell you why on the other side. It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
and services with a digital marketing campaign. Increase leads and get more customers. We create tailored digital marketing campaigns that deliver results. Don't wait. Get started today. Contact aimyourdigital.com. That's aimyourdigital.com and start seeing results.
When you're ready to get properly fitted for golf clubs, join the thousands of Northern California golfers who visited the indoor-outdoor Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio. Players of all abilities found the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio offers answers to questions about golf club fitting. You'll find a professional staff of fitters, major equipment brands, and cutting-edge technology featuring TrackMan. See for yourself at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway. Call 916-808-2531 to schedule your fitting. 808-2531 for longer, straighter drives.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Oakland A's are trying to avoid the sweep against the Seattle Mariners, and currently the A's lead the Mariners 3-2 in the top of the fourth inning. There's only one NBA playoff game tonight, and it is the Warriors hosting the Lakers for Game 2 of their series. Warriors will try and tie up the series at one game apiece before traveling to Los Angeles this weekend. Earlier today, Sacramento Kings general manager and 2023 Executive of the Year, Monty McNair, joined Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross. You can watch the entire interview on SactownSports.com. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madsen.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
339-1140 is the number. 1-800-920-1140 if you want to join the conversation. Rami of Cattles and Rami fame joining us.
Rami and Cattles.
In about 15 minutes. I have a story that I want to tell when he gets in. I don't think I've ever shared this story on air. It's about a listener helping me out, and I'm really excited to share that.
Like actually helping.
Hey, there it is.
Has it happened?
It happened. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen. You know what that siren means.
Take purge?
Good play.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Oh.
We're at 100 likes, baby. Let's go. Come on.
Century mark.
Come on. Let's go. I love that for us. I just sent my chair through the wall behind me.
Could have gone through the window.
I can't now I'm like trying to awkwardly grab it.
You know, there's big bosses below us.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're not down there. I looked earlier.
You pay for the whole seat, but you only need the edge.
Where was I?
Oh, man.
In the chat. This is peak Chris Watkins.
What did I do?
David Myers in the chat. I've been in and out of the car and haven't heard someone who Chris actually wants this offseason. Everyone that I've heard has been a pass.
Yeah.
Chris, you don't like anything.
Yeah, I mean, you know. I definitely don't want to run it back, but I also don't want anybody.
They're just in kind of in a weird spot.
I'm like Monty McNair, you know. I just got to wait a couple weeks and then we'll see. You know, I got to hug the kids.
I will pay you $500
I'm doing
if
it.
in a few weeks you say, this is who I want and this is how it happens.
All right. Okay. You heard it here first.
And I mean that figuratively.
Oh, okay.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, Chris. I cannot believe that you just said that.
Man. Okay. We're trying to get to 107 now. That's how many likes we're trying to get. But is there a player that you're like, let's talk about Harrison Barnes specifically, because that's
not one.
That's the player in the starting rotation who is or in the starting lineup who's a free agent.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're going to let him walk, conceivably they would have to improve at that spot.
Yes.
Is there a player that you're looking at where you're like, you know what, financially, fit wise, that makes sense. That makes them better.
I mean, not necessarily. And I think that's what's so tough about the Harrison Barnes decision is that it is kind of like you look out there and Jeremy Grant's out there. Okay, you can make the argument Jeremy Grant's better than Harrison Barnes, but it goes back to that needle moving conversation of, okay, how much are you committing to Jeremy Grant and how much is that at the expense of other players who could really help you with the role?
Jeremy Grant's a great example because I feel like if they sign Jeremy Grant just in a vacuum, they sign Jeremy Grant, it's like, okay,
that's a good piece.
I like that.
Yeah.
Good piece. But if you're paying Jeremy Grant $35 million a year,
right?
That's not the juice. There is not worth that squeeze.
Absolutely not. And that's the problem that I come to with a lot of these guys is that you got to be bringing something to the table. Like Jeremy Grant is another guy who kind of does a little bit of everything, but isn't awesome at one particular thing.
Right.
That's why I'm not going to bring back the whole Draymond conversation, but at least Draymond, he brings an elite defensive mindset to this team, an elite defensive IQ to this team, which they desperately need. And that's not something anybody else can provide. When you look around at everybody else, I'm looking at the free agents coming up for this year. Chris Middleton's got a player option. He would be great, but how expensive is he going to be?
You're way overpaying Chris Middleton, who's again hasn't been healthy this year.
Kristaps Porzingis is the number 2 forward. Pass. Draymond Green is listed as the number 3. We've been there, talked about that. Harrison Barnes is listed as the 4th best forward right now, and I'm looking at Spot Track, looking at their free agent forward list. Then you go into the Jeremy Grant, Kyle Kuzma, Kelly Oubre, Dylan Brooks, Jay Crowder.
Kelly Oubre came up a bunch in the chat.
That's not it.
Pass,
guys.
dude.
That's not it.
You do not. I promise you, you don't want Kelly Oubre on your team.
You don't want it. Like it's that again isn't taking you to another level. And that's where it pains me to say, that's where it makes a lot of sense to just bring back Harrison Barnes, but try and find a reasonable number that everybody's okay with. Because I don't think you're going to be able to easily find somebody to just replace him. That's kind of the nature of the problem with Harrison is you can do a whole lot worse. You can definitely do a whole lot better, but you can do a whole lot worse.
I think I would.
And you just know what you're going to get with him.
I think I'd take Kuzma.
I think I would too. I would much rather take the flyer on Kuzma over
He's probably going to be a little.
Barnes.
He's probably going to be a little more expensive.
He'll be more expensive, a little more erratic on the floor in terms of like you might, where Harrison might only take 5 shots in a random game, and that's frustrating. Kuzma might take 20 shots, and it's like, okay, well, De'Aaron got 20, Kuzma got 20, and then Sabonis took 8. And it's like, okay, well, I don't know if that's
maybe
necessarily what we want, but it's a swing. That's a potential swing for somebody who could be better than Harrison Barnes significantly.
Yes, I agree.
So I would be a lot more willing to take that risk than signing him up. Maybe Kuzma's my guy for now, but I don't know if there's a lot of guys.
All right, there it is.
Don't know if there's
for David Myers.
There you go, David. I'll say Kyle Kuzma, maybe.
If you had to choose one or the other, a player that helps with rebounding or a player that helps with wing defense.
Wing defense.
Wing defense for me too.
Yeah.
I think the rebounding thing,
guys, again,
Domas can solve that by not shrinking in the playoffs.
Yep.
Like that, like.
God, it also not going against Kevon Looney.
Well, right. Okay. And Kevon Looney is a skilled rebounder and a skilled player. He tries really hard. Like I'm in on Kevon Looney. Domas can be more effective than he was.
Sure. Absolutely. I just think it was a terrible match. Like, I don't think rebounding is a problem that they need to address as a group. But do they need to specifically bring in a rebounder? I think that's overreacting to what we just saw. I think Kevon Looney is incredible, but if you put the Kings and the Lakers in a first round series, I think Anthony Davis probably, we saw Anthony Davis is very capable of having a 20 rebound game, but I think Domas's physicality would help him out in that department. Again, Domantas Sabonis is the leading rebounder in the NBA.
Right.
And in order for the Kings to run the lineup they did with Keegan and HB as their forwards, obviously those guys are more threes than they are. They're a little bit of fours, but your traditional forward is going to be a rebounding threat who can stretch, who can do all these X, Y, and Z things. Those guys aren't great rebounders, but that's what you sacrifice for having the shooting out there.
I think
there's a push and pull that has to happen.
I think just some added athleticism, if anything.
Absolutely. Right.
Andrew Wiggins, for example, last year for the Warriors. And honestly, you saw it a couple times in game 1 against the Lakers. Will just get up and get a rebound.
Right. That putback. Oh my God. That putback.
that's I think why I say wing defense.
Sure.
Because wing defense typically implies a requisite level of athleticism where it's like that player can go get a rebound.
Right.
That's why I was so frustrated with Harrison Barnes. Forget the shooting, forget the fact that he would take 5 possessions and get to the line on 4 of them.
Right.
It's like, hey, do that every time. The lack of using his athleticism and size to rebound was really
Very
frustrating.
Yeah.
Like Malik Monk and Kevin Huerter should not be pulling down more rebounds regularly than Harrison Barnes.
Right. I'm looking at
That's what sticks out.
looking at some other guys here that they can maybe. There's a 0% chance that Tom Thibodeau is letting go of Josh Hart.
No,
that's a guy that,
and he's a player option, right?
Yes,
Team
he's got a player option. Yeah, that's a guy who would probably be a good fit. He's a little small to run at the 3, but he's played plenty of 3.
And
great
uses
rebounder.
his athleticism to rebound.
Boom.
As
Bruce
we
Brown
saw here at Golden One Center.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Yeah. Rewatch that Knicks Kings national TV game if you want to get
I'm
tape
guessing
on Josh Hart as an offensive.
If Josh
rebounder.
Hart doesn't exercise his player option, my guess is it's because he's going to sign a bigger deal. With New York.
Yeah. Bruce Brown, another guy who I really like. He was kind of that gritty, do it all, not really flashy, but just lunch pail kind of guy. I'd like to bring him off the bench. You can watch him in Denver right now. He's playing a fantastic role for them off the bench, and he's a really big piece, but maybe they want to give Christian Brown more minutes or something. I'd like a guy like that, but again, I don't know about replacing as a starter Harrison Barnes for those guys. Those are good role pieces. Those are the kind of guys that I'm talking about when I say those to me are the guys that are most important that the Kings add this year is those bench depth role guys, the guys who come in for a very specific reason and they know what that reason is and they execute it more times than not.
Yeah.
To me, that's where the Kings get a lot better this year than next. Not necessarily taking Harrison Barnes and making that specific piece better, though I would love that.
Rami coming in here in just a few minutes. Really excited to chat with him. John Lynch was on Bay Area radio this morning, lying his rear end off. According to Matt Barrows of The Athletic, John Lynch says that other kicker-needy teams were trying to trade up to get in front of San Francisco to take Jake Moody. Moody's holder, Brad Robbins, told me that he and Moody had 7 or 8 pre-draft workouts. That is a lot of teams that were seeking a kicker this year. I don't buy it.
That sounds like justification. I mean, that sounds like he's trying to get in front of the story.
And why would you not say that? Why are you saying that now on the radio a week after the draft ended?
Right.
Why is that not when you're going, hey, all these teams were making fun of us for picking Jake Moody, but we felt we had to take him there because if we didn't, he was going to be gone at 101.
Right.
By the time we picked again.
And Kyle, how many other kickers were picked in the draft besides Jake Moody?
1, maybe 2.
You would think if teams were that hungry, I mean, unless Jake Moody is.
So that's what I'm hearing here. Like, okay, let's take that at face value.
Yeah.
That means teams believe that Jake Moody is going to be Justin Tucker.
Right. If they're talking about moving up in the draft into the third round.
Teams are trying to trade ahead of us into the top 100.
What? Come on.
You felt you needed a kicker, so you took the best one.
And you took him too early.
You don't have to lie to kick it, John. See that?
Yeah. Like kicker.
Yeah. Thanks,
dude.
man.
That was sick. Sick reference.
Rami's next. I have a story of the time a listener helped me out in a huge way.
I can't wait to hear this.
It was the best thing. It saved me a lot of strife. I'll tell you why.
Really? Okay.
It's Cattles and Rami.
That's right. He's got his shirt on, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Sacramento Kings shirt. Let's go. Oh, Boston boy. Let's go. Boston Nick got out the Kings shirt. Look at that. Let's go. You went out and spent money on that too, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
But let's go.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
My ride smells just right, just right, just right, just right. I gotta try that Febreze car. Just right, just right, just right. Yeah. La 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 la. With up to 40 days of consistency, all over Febreze car clips right on your fit. You know my car's my happy place. Keep that smile on my face when it smells just right, just right, just right. Yeah, breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. We provide a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to determine eligibility. Businesses of all types can qualify, so go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee. Download the Innovation Refunds app or go to getrefunds.com, getrefunds.com.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
When you hear the words, the whole store is on sale, if you're like me, you're thinking, this is worth my attention. Hi, I'm Frank LaRosa with a word or two about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Right now, Naturewood's whole store is on sale during their exceptional home sale. Now your mind is probably doing backflips trying to decide where to start. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Or maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, or accents and accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide home sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stickley, Artisan Home, Stanton, Flex Steel, Omnia, and all the rest of our award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable home sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save on the brands you trust. Right now, buy a DeWalt 9-gallon corded shop vacuum with accessories at a new low price of $99. Plus, as an MVPs member, earn 3 bonus points per dollar when you buy select concrete mix. You can then redeem for rewards. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. While supplies last, discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Valid through 5/17. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid through 6/2. Subject to change.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone, America's #1 brakes destination. We have the pads, rotors, drums, shoes, and brake fluids to improve your stopping power. Right now, save 15% when you get any 2 Duralast rotors with a set of Duralast brake pads. Missing a tool? Ask about our free Loan-A-Tool program and borrow the tools you need to get the job done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the MPD Group 2021. Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Rami's in the building.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
How are things?
Pretty good.
You a hockey guy, Chris?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's not even a little
same
bit.
thing.
Yeah. Every time I wear this thing.
You know, it's called a sweater.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
called a sweater.
I am
not a
aware.
jersey.
I am aware. I have been told.
Yeah, I was too.
I've been told. Yes.
Yeah.
So you just like the sweater. then?
Unsolicited, I was asked, or I was told that this was a sweater and not a jersey.
Next-
and I was like, I know.
If and when we get to do another show together,
Yeah.
let me know. I have a Sharks jersey sweater I can wear. and we can go. We can
Let's do it. Yeah.
Matching sweaters.
I love that. I love that for us. Sorry to leave you out there. If you want to wear a hockey sweater,
I don't own a hockey sweater. Some of them are real sharp though. Some of them are real cool looking.
I think the best hockey sweater is like the best sports jersey.
I
think so.
I would say so.
Yeah.
We were just talking during the break about my Milwaukee days, and they have a minor league hockey team there called the Admirals, and today is Star Wars Day. And a few years ago for Star Wars Day, they had like Star Wars themed sweaters, and they looked like stormtrooper helmets.
Oh, that's incredible!
That had the team's logo on them and everything. They
didn't go with Admiral Akbar.
No, they.
It's a trap.
That's a great. That would have been a great tie-in.
Yeah.
But no, they went with the stormtrooper sweaters, and they were real sharp.
The college ones are really cool too. To get like a Duke logo or whatever, UNC, like it's big fan of hockey. Hockey sweaters.
I had a friend who played minor league baseball. He went to Sac State. Brendan Lateo, great guy. But he played
out.
but he played minor league baseball, and they had a Star Wars night, and their jersey is like a scene from Hoth.
Oh, okay.
And it's super cool, and it's just got like their logo up here. It's kind of, but they were auctioning them off after the game, and I was like, dude, how do I get
one
your
of these?
jersey?
Yeah.
And he's like, I got you, dog. And so he sent it to me like autographed and stuff.
Nice.
I need to get it hung up because it's a super cool looking jersey.
Sounds like a good guy to me, Chris. I don't know what your beef is.
Yeah, no,
I don't know what your
he's a very
issue
good
is.
person.
Sounds like a really good dude to me.
Because of one story.
I could. There's other times he's been a nice guy.
No, we're not going to tell this story.
No.
Okay, we're not going to tell this story.
Just, no, he was always.
I know it is usually
super
story
willing to
time.
come in.
I know, yeah.
He was always super willing to come up and like do interviews. And just always very welcoming to the broadcasters. Big fan of his.
Nice.
I have a story. So, you do comedy.
Yes.
Have you ever been to the comedy club in Old Sac?
No. Last Unlimited?
Yeah,
I haven't been there yet. No.
Okay,
That's a good setup.
So as you're walking in, there's the wooden slats, right?
Okay.
It's an Old Sac.
Deck, right down in Old Sac, right?
Yeah.
And so we've had some drinks. Me and some friends are there hanging out. And I have to go show the lady my ID. I pull out my ID and drop it through the slot.
Oh,
it's like slow-mo
that's
style,
nightmare
right?
fuel, bro. That is
slow-mo style, right?
Oh my gosh.
And those stairs have been there for like 150 years.
Right. So,
who knows what's under there?
So I'm like looking.
Billy the Kid's license is probably.
So I look at the lady. Because I was pulling my sleeve up. I dropped it because I was pulling my sleeve up so she could put the armband on. So luckily she's seen my ID. She knows I can come in.
Okay.
So she's like, let me go get the manager guy. So he goes and he comes out and he's like, who's got some gum? I'll get some gum and put it on a straw and stick it through there, and then we'll just pull it right out.
MacGyver it, sure.
So he does that. It works.
Shut up.
It works.
Shut up.
He pulls this license up.
Was the manager actually MacGyver?
I know, right?
Might have been. So he pulls this license up. Some lady named Gloria.
Oh my
Not
God.
mine. Not my ID.
Roller coaster of emotions where you're like, oh my God, that's the craziest. Okay, it's Gloria.
I'm picturing like
And
a
you just
crowd
throw it back
around
there.
this guy, watching him
literally
figure
what's
this thing
happening.
out and cheering as it comes out, and then the disappointment going across the crowd.
Did you just throw it right back in the crack too? You're like, not the one we're looking for. Correct.
So this guy tries again, no dice. I'm like, you know what? Show's starting. Let's get in there. I'll
Like you
figure it
got
out.
it the first time.
So I have a show the next day. I was doing the morning show with Dave right here on Sactown Sports. And I get on and I'm telling this story. I'm like, yeah, this sucks. Now I got to go down to the DMV and get a new license. This is awful. Da-da-da. Text line. This guy comes and goes, I work for the city. Meet me down in front of the comedy club after the show.
Oh, wow.
And I got you.
Nice.
And I'm like, all right, this is either a prank.
Yeah.
I'm going to be on a Netflix documentary. or this guy's going to be the homie. And so I pull up to the front. There's nobody there. But then I get to the corner and there's a work truck and a guy standing outside of the work truck. I get out. He's like, Kyle? I'm like, yeah. He goes, which board is it? It's this one. Pulls out a drill, lifts up the board. There's my ID. There's tons of stuff under there. I'm like, should we grab these other ones? He's like, nah. Put the board back down, screw it back in. I got my ID back.
Dude, that's
Shout out
so
to that
clutch.
listener. It was big time.
Oh,
That
that's
is 8,000 times better than all of my high meta listener stories.
No, I've met a lot of good.
great.
I had a listener.
Is there a 6-shooter under there?
Yeah, it's right next to
real historical
next to Billy the Kid's license.
Yeah.
Belt buckle.
I was saying this because I got a microwave delivered. My microwave just went out. Got a 2019 microwave. Gone. Just went out. The guy figured out what was wrong with it by listening to it, which I didn't know you could do.
Vibes.
Right.
This guy's the microwave whisperer?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
He just touches it.
He's like, turn this on. Yeah, I know what's wrong. Like, what?
What?
You don't have to cut it open? You didn't listen to it? And so he's telling me how easy it is to install this thing. And because I was like, can I pay you guys, company, to do it? He's like, don't do that. Just do it yourself. It's this easy. I'm like, great. Well, I can see on my Ring that it got delivered today, and it's 2 grown adult men struggling to get this thing in the house.
And they think you can put this thing up by yourself?
But one of our guys in the chat was like, dude, I'm a handyman. It weighs like 20 pounds. This stuff's easy. You got it. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to have my wife film it, and maybe we'll get some good content. Or it's going to be easy.
I thought you were going to say this guy was going to be like, I'm the same dude who got your license. I'll come through.
Yeah.
Put up your microwave, bro. I got you. I'm your dude.
If he did, I trust that man with my life. Yeah. What do you guys got coming up today?
Lots of Kings talk, obviously. Out of the gates, we'll ask what makes you most optimistic. Then we'll flip the coin. What concerns you moving forward for this Kings team? And Chris Biederman will be here at 2:30.
The great Chris Biederman.
And much, much more.
Yeah, one of the homies. Love him to death.
Oh, and at 3 o'clock, if you missed Monty McNair's interview, we'll bring you a little bit of that as well.
Nice.
With, Dave this
morning. Outstanding. All right, Cattles and Rami next.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 7